welcome to the July 22nd, 2025 meeting of the Air Planning Board. This meeting hearing of the Air Planning Board will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting ID 978-772-8220 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Danny Ruiz, Town Planner, at ruiz@air.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 144 prior to the meeting. First item is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any changes, anything, amendments? Okay, hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It's unanimous. It's approved. So the first matter is the continued public hearing for 0 Bly Street. Are there any representatives of 0 Bly Street? Yes, hi, hello.
Hi.
Liz?
Yes.
Oh, there we
Liz
go.
Clark. I'm with GPR. I am the engineer for the project.
Danny, if you would lead the way with this?
All right. So we continued the last meeting due to having a question out to town council, as well as waiting to hear back from DEP on the soil management plan. We did receive an email back from Elizabeth. Got a email back from DEP that stating that they do not. Okay. That they do not review the soil management plan, but that DEP relies on the soil management plan, the LSP, because they are certified through the hazardous materials board through the state. So they rely on that engineer's stamp for that to account for that to be correct. So in terms for us, town council also opined that if the board did choose to do a third-party peer review, whatever came out of that would only be advisory and not anything that the board would be able to enforce. So the way what we did was we added a special condition at the end of the decisions that states during the construction that the applicant shall strictly follow the soil management plan created by Capital Environmental LLC, dated December 26, 2024. If the applicant has to do something differently than how it is stated in the soil management plan, the applicant shall have to inform the DPW, town planner, and conservation agent. Just so that we're all at least on the same page as to what the change is and what's going to be occurring.
Okay. Great.
So what we can do now is go through the decisions.
Let's do that.
We can start with the let's start with the site plan decision.
Oh, the site plan? Okay.
Yeah. So
Mine is incomplete here.
oh really?
Well, that's the way I see it anyway.
Did I pass them up? Oh, that's right there.
No, I got this, but 5, 6, 7, 8, and then missing the last page of the thing.
Oh. Is yours too? Is yours complete?
Yeah. Can I borrow it? Thanks. All right. So I'm sorry, you were saying about the conditions?
Yes.
Decisions, I'm sorry?
Yes, the decision. So the first, so section 1 is just the site plan approval section, which we will, when we make the motion to on the vote, that's where I will fill it in. Section 2 is the materials, which is everything that's been submitted to us. Section 3 is the findings. So one additional finding for this property was the property is located within a 100-year floodplain overlay district. The applicant submitted the calculations required under the floodplain overlay district to prove that this project will not cause more flooding. The town engineer and the building commissioner reviewed the information to determine the project is allowed. So this next section is the waivers. These are the sections that we had discussed previously, that the applicant had requested these waivers, but that we stipulated that these would only be for phase 1 of the project. So the first waiver that the applicant is requesting is from section 4E to A through E, which is the vehicular traffic circulation and parking. The request to waive the traffic impact statement, since any increased traffic will be limited to minimal passenger vehicle traffic.
Shall we do these now? Yeah. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the waiver request as articulated by the town planner for section 4E2A A through E, vehicular traffic circulation and parking.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So please go back and just let the public know that these waivers are in accordance with the air site plan regulations.
Yeah, so we'll get to that because there's more than just the site
Right, but
plans.
we're talking about site
Yep,
plan. We're not
currently.
talking about bylaws or anything else. Site.
For this section, we will be getting to the bylaws and to others. So, and up here on the decision, it says waiver request for town of Ayer site plan regulations. So
Okay.
these first couple are going to be just specifically the site plan regulations.
Did I get a second?
I second it.
Oh, okay. How do you vote?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Second waiver request is for the location and characteristics of any bicycle facilities, and they're requesting to not have to. Request to waive the bicycle parking required for the proposed development. Phase 1 will not result in any new building addition or enlargement of an existing building, or for any change in occupancy of any new building that results in the need for additional vehicular parking facilities. The proposed industrial business does not currently have employees that bike to work, and it will not have customers on site. Therefore, bicycle parking accommodation is not necessary. Do I have a motion?
I'll move that we waive air site plan regulation section 4F 3 to 4.
I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen? Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Okay. So the next, I'll make a motion for the waiver request for outdoor lighting, section 4G. And that's the request is to waive the photometric and lighting design requirements because phase 1 of the project does not include new lighting or improvements to the existing site lighting.
Second.
Seconded.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Now, the following are air zoning bylaw waivers. Anything more complicated about these?
No, so
Nope.
these are going to take more into account once we get into phase 2, when the applicant comes forth, but,
We'll have to revisit these.
yes.
But these would apply to phase 1.
Yes, as well.
Anyone want to take a stab at making the motion for this?
I move that we approve the waiver request for zoning bylaw 916B1 and 2, interior landscaping.
Have a second.
Seconded.
Any further discussion?
I think we should read the request. That's
Oh, let me read the request out loud. So the request is to waive the requirement for interior landscaping since the gravel pad proposed as part of this filing will act as a storage area and not a formal parking area. Elimination of the interior landscaping will allow for maximum flexibility in storage. The project will maintain 73% open space.
Also, comment that the drawing set does have some landscaping, so it's not an entire loss of landscaping, and there still is the screening along the road. So it's
Yeah, and we'll revisit this when we get to phase 2.
Move the mic closer to you if you would. Thanks, Nathan. Great. Any further discussion? Ken?
aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. The next waiver request is 919 bicycle accommodation. The request is to waive the bicycle parking requirement for the proposed development. Phase 1 will not result in any new building addition or enlargement of an existing building or for any change in occupancy of any new building that results in the need for additional vehicular parking facilities. Proposed industrial business does not currently have employees that bike to work or will not have customers on site, therefore bicycle parking accommodation is not necessary. A motion?
Make a motion that we waive the zoning bylaw requirement 91.9 bicycle accommodation for the proposed project, 0 Bly Street.
Do I got a second?
Seconded.
Any further discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just want to bookmark that as we consider parking townwide, we should think a little more carefully about waiving this, even if the immediate applicant doesn't have a need. Something I think the board should consider for future uses of properties.
Agreed. I just will point out that the location of this particular site in the, really an industrial area makes it unlikely that future applications would want bicycle facilities. But your point is well noted. Thank you. Any further discussion? Julie?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next request, 9.2.8.2, at least 50% of the minimum required open space under section 6.2 will be located in the front or side yards of the lot, visible from the street, unless the planning board approves a different configuration in order to accommodate unique site constraints, such as but not limited to the location of existing buildings or wetlands, lot shape, or access. The request is to waive this requirement is because the project will provide approximately 73% open space. Due to the existing layout of the site and the surrounding wetland resource area, the project will not provide the required 15% of the open space in the front or side yards visible from the street. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we waive the zoning bylaw requirement 92A2. That at least, I think there's a typo here. That's why I
Yes.
want to correct it first.
50, not S0.
It says 50, but then in the request, it says required 15% of the open space in front and side yards. So
You-
there's a difference between the,
Mm-hmm.
You were right, Danny, though.
Let me 1 second.
I got it. Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, it's 50%. You're right.
So Danny, where does it need to be, in the last sentence where it
Yeah,
says 50,
so
it should be 50?
It should be 50.
All right.
And just so you know, I am doing the changes.
You're making the change
I'm
so
making
that for the
changes as we're
signature?
going.
Okay,
Yes.
great. You made the motion, Ken?
And
Right.
just
But-
to clarify on this, to address any laughing that was going on in the crowd,
laughing?
um,
A lot of it.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
Let me just pull up the plan. This is an existing site with existing conditions. The site is already in this state because it's a building is already existing over here. The front of the site is considered over here. This is the back of the site. So the applicant, the way because the front of the building faces sideways, doesn't meet the open space requirement because of the existing conditions. So they wouldn't meet the 50%, and that's why they're requesting the waiver, to address the concern there.
Hey, can you show the build out, the next set, the slide that shows?
So this is the added gravel pad that will be installed.
So we're basically saying that the front of the building faces to the east, right? Is that the way you're reading it?
Yes.
Yes.
So it faces to the east, which would mean the front is this section right here.
Correct.
Everything did. There's no way you can get 50%.
Correct.
Isn't that more than 50%?
Well, and also the side yard.
Oh, there's virtually no side yard.
Correct.
Okay. I mean,
Did we get a second? I don't
No.
remember. No.
Okay, so I think we should reread the request with the right.
Yeah, so now that it's updated in there.
The project will provide approximately 73% open space due to the existing layout of the site and surrounding wetland resource area. The project will not provide the required 50% of the open space in the front or side yards visible from the street.
I'll start the motion again, I guess.
Yep.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we waive for 0 Bly Street, the zoning bylaw requirement 9.282, that at least 50% of the required open space be in the front yards and side yards visible from the street.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen? Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. And then we also have a waiver request from the stormwater regulations. And this is, this one is, less waived by the authority, stormwater management easement shall be granted to the town of Ayer and be sufficient in location and extent to allow the town to access the property in all areas used for off-site stormwater control in order to facilitate inspections and allow the town the right to perform required maintenance. The request for the project to grant the town of Ayer stormwater, the request to waive the requirement for the project to grant the town of Ayer stormwater management easement for the on-site stormwater management systems is because the proposed on-site stormwater management system shall be the responsibility of the owner of the property in perpetuity and will not require an access easement to perform inspections or maintenance. Just a note, I've checked with the town planner to be sure that DPW is okay with this, and my understanding is that DPW has. Yes, Ms. Nearing? Yes.
Well, we need a motion, do we?
Well, I haven't made the motion yet, so she can.
I'm not quite sure the procedure. Lori Nearing. I strongly oppose any waiver of stormwater permits and oversight regulations based on the proximity of.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, let me clarify. This is not a waiver on stormwater regulations. It's a waiver of the applicant having to give the town an easement to take care of the stormwater basin. Because it's going to be private, they will maintain it.
I'm not clear on what the waiver is.
So the waiver is they're requesting, so under our regulations, if the property is not, like typically what we see this is in subdivisions or in properties that are going to be eventually turned over to the town, they require an easement to take care of that in the meantime until the town takes it over. Here, this is not going ever going to be turned over to the town. It's going to be owned by the owner, and so the town does not need an easement for it because they will not be taking care of it.
It's a waiver of the easement.
Yes.
So they're still going to be required to follow the stormwater requirements.
Yep. And that's set forth in the stormwater permit that I have that we'll go through next.
Thank you for clarification.
Thank you, Lori.
Mr. Hughes?
Regarding applicants, Patrick Hughes, 27 Groton Harvard Road, regarding
Patrick Hughes.
Patrick Hughes, 27 Groton Harvard Road. Thank you. Two previous projects were impacted by the ACEC overlay, were required to create turtle habitat, which was to be maintained by the homeowners. This was the subdivision near the Baptist Church and Pondview Estates. Neither of these turtle habitats is required because these areas are endangered species habitats for Blanding's turtles, have ever been properly maintained. So why is it we think that we're waiving the town's ability to inspect these things when the general thing is that homeowners associations are not exactly doing what they're supposed to do as required when these subdivisions were approved?
Just to clarify, this is not going to be a homeowners association. This is an industrial site.
This is an industrial site?
Yes.
0 Bly Street, sir.
Yeah.
We're not
0
on Lincoln
Bly
Hills,
Street.
we're on 0 Bly Street.
We're on 0 Bly Street?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
We're not, okay. Okay,
Different project,
different project.
Yep.
totally different.
I just use that as an example to explain why the town requires that in our regulations.
Okay, well, let's keep this in mind when we're waiving all this stuff.
What am I?
Hmm?
I don't think that what you're talking about applies to this project, but thank you for your point.
You're welcome. Comes from decades of experience.
I have decades of experience too.
Really? How old are you?
Whoa, that's rude, sir.
Oh, my God. Okay, let's back up. We're talking about an industrial project on Zero Bly Street. That's where we're on at this moment in the hearing, right? Zero Bly Street.
Correct. 0 Bly Street.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir, Nathan.
my understanding is that the owner of the property will still do inspections, and those inspections will still be filed with the town. And all we're saying is that the town will not be doing the inspections.
Yeah, so in the stormwater management permit, they'll be required to submit yearly inspections in October, documenting the conditions of the stormwater basin.
I forget where we are with motions. Do we have a motion on the table for this?
Not make a
We didn't
motion.
get a motion yet. Anyone want to make a motion on this? I'll make the motion. I make the motion, we accept the waiver request from Stormwater Regulation Section 210B1 regarding the easement as discussed.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, and so in the next section is our general conditions. So there were no changes to this one. These are our typical conditions.
Right.
The special condition on this one is the soil management
Can I
plan
read that one?
condition. Yep.
So the general conditions are the usual ones we always have, but we have one special condition, Section 6, I would like to read out loud. During construction, the applicant shall strictly follow the soil management plan created by Capital Environment LLC dated December 26, 2024. If the applicant has to do something differently than how it is stated in the soil management plan, the applicant shall have to inform the DPW, town planner, and conservation agent.
Mr. Ruiz, for clarification, can you go to the website where the solar management plan is shown?
Yes. So
Follow these documents if they wish.
yes. So on the website under our current applications and plans, this is our website that we keep all of the documentation that comes in that's submitted. You can find that the soil management plan here under the first submission.
Open that for me.
So this is the document. This is one
Right,
that's
so-
created by Capital Environmental LLC.
Right, so just for review, because this site has an activity and use limitation on it from a
Yep.
decision back in 2009, I think it was, right?
Yes,
roughly.
May of 2009, I believe.
That generates the requirement to have special oversight on the job.
Yes.
Part of that oversight is to hire a soils
It's an LSP.
licensed site professional,
I
maybe?
believe, yes.
They generate a plan like this. The state has looked at this plan. Basically, we talked about that at the beginning of tonight.
Yep.
We're good with that. We believe that now the responsibility of the engineering team, the ownership and whatnot, to follow these guidelines.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. So now I think for a vote for the site plan, for site plan approval, right?
Yes, so I will get to the section for you to read. So it's section 1.
Okay. Motion for approval of site plan pursuant to subsection 320-3.5, site plan review of this air zoning bylaw, subject to the standard conditions 1 through 36 and special condition numbered 1 that we just read in this decision, and the following conditions presented at the meeting. There were no other following conditions, none. I make a motion so declared.
Seconded, so declared.
Yes, Ms. Neary?
I'm standing because I'm still struggling to hear you. Your voices carry a little better when it's going over your head, so I apologize. We talked about land use controls that were going to be reviewed by this state. Is this the section where that is reviewed, or is that coming up later?
So we had talked about the soil management plan. That's what we were talking about. We were asking if this was sent over to DEP, and the question was, were they going to review it or not? And what I stated earlier was DEP stated that they do not review the document. They rely on the LSP's stamp because they are certified through the hazardous materials board through the state. So they rely on that. And
So
then
this-
we reached out, we reached out to town council on an opinion on a third party peer review. They stated that if anything came out of that third party peer review, it would only be advisory and not enforceable.
So I haven't had a chance to meet with you yet. We have talked about with this board before that I'm very familiar with this site because of other things that I've been involved with over many years in the town. And this particular site is the site of the former tannery, as you likely know. And it is chock full of all kinds of hazardous chemicals from the tannery. And we're talking about very, very high levels that have also contaminated Grove Pond. Now, you're shaking your head, sir. I have the documentation.
I'm the owner, and we tested the site extensively. Borings, wells, everything. We did so many samples, and we've come up with, and we've hired the licensed site professional to come in. You see what the site was? It was a
Tell you what,
giant tannery.
come on up. Come on up. And if, would someone give the gentleman a chair, please? And if you'll say your name and address, thank you, sir.
Shane Duval, Brighter Horizon Environmental. I own property on West Main Street. We bought this property to clean it up, make it look great, make it excellent for the town. And it's been over a year now with nothing but pushback. There was a giant tannery there. We bought the property. Yep, so you don't know what you're talking about.
I'm offended by that.
Well, you just stated a whole bunch of things that aren't true.
I'd like to see your plan.
That's all the data is here.
Can we just mitigate this for a minute? I just want to back up and just discuss what an AUL is, an area use limitation. You cannot
Activity.
get that from the state. So the state already has one unless you're compliant with the mass contingency plan. That is the regulation that oversees environmental cleanup. So the history you're familiar with, there was a cleanup that was performed. The state has signed off on it. And now as a condition of that AUL, the area use limitation, we have to produce a soil management plan, which we've presented to the board, we've presented to DEP, and we've been coordinating on.
Could you please elaborate on who did the remediation and when it was done?
You know what, that's not relevant here. I'm gonna call an end to this because we're focused on a motion that's in midway, and you're drawing us into irrelevant areas that have either been covered or they're irrelevant. So I'm kind of putting an end.
And just, it has been covered. At our last two meetings, we did discuss what was done, the AUL. It was all remediated. There was a phase 1 and a phase 2, and it was remediated in 2009. So we did cover all of that information.
Is this available publicly?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Of
recorded
course
on
it
the
has.
deed.
Yeah, and it's also, you can go onto DEP's website and also find all the documentation there as well.
Sure can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's that?
Gentleman's name again. Sean?
Shane Duval.
Shane, thank you.
So I think we got a motion in a second.
Yes,
right?
we have a second.
Any further discussion?
Oh, we have another hand.
Am I allowed to ask questions about the soil remediation plan? Is that okay?
Come on up.
It is publicly available.
It's
and-
on the website.
Yeah.
No, I reviewed it. I just had questions.
So I'm not the site.
No one here is an expert on this. So.
I'm the civil engineer, so this isn't, I'm not overseeing this portion of the work.
Oh, okay.
So I can't provide technical response.
Excuse me, excuse me, I'm sorry. We have a meeting in progress, please? Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then I
No,
wouldn't.
you
have-
go ahead. No, you're fine. I'm
Okay,
just the
I
audience.
mean, we can try.
Oh, okay. No, I just was reviewing it, and I think there was a part where you guys weren't going to test the fill before bringing it into. I don't know who to talk to. Before bringing it in, so I just didn't know if that was problematic due to the sensitive nature of the area that this project is. Additionally,
I'm confused.
How could that be problematic?
Bringing the
How could
soil
it-
in?
They're gonna test the field remotely before they bring it to the job, that's the point.
Oh,
They
Okay.
can't bring anything to the job that might have a chance of being contaminated.
Okay.
So they're gonna test it remotely.
Gotcha.
Put it in a truck and bring it before they bring it to the site.
Okay, I misread that then. I apologize. I was just.
I think that's the right interpretation. I
Yeah,
don't see
no,
why-
absolutely. We're not going to let, so under the mass contingency plan, you're never allowed to bring impacted or dirty fill to
Exactly.
a site. You're never allowed to make it dirtier.
Okay.
So all fill that will be imported will be clean and environmentally sound.
Okay, wonderful. And then there's a part about moving the soil across the property to just, I guess, make it level or whatever. But won't that, like, when you're digging up things, like you might take core samples, you might take different, I don't know, parts of the soil and different aspects of the property, but isn't there a big chance of contamination
Not,
because of the site?
so again, we
history?
wouldn't have an AUL if remediation hadn't already been achieved and approved by the state.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hughes? Is this related to 0 Bly Street?
Well, it does. And it's in defense of Ms. Nearing. Ms. Nearing was recognized as the EPA Citizen of the Year for the entire country for her incredible work with the cleanup of Devons. Her knowledge of toxic areas in air is outstanding and deep, and if she has something to say, it is worth listening to. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Any further discussion? Yes, Nathan?
I just wanted to point out, not asking a question, just to identify that I saw on the last page of the site plan drawing that GPR has marked the phase 2 portion for comment, or it's not part of the permit request. And I just wanted to underscore that is not in the permit. It's just there as information, and GPR has noted as such.
Thank you.
Anything else? Ken, how do you vote?
One clarification.
Go.
In the motion, did the motion include that this was for phase 1 only?
No, it didn't. I'm going to, may I revise my motion? The motion, I'd like to revise the motion for approval of the site plan for 0 Bly Street, map 33, parcel 25, phase 1. Thank you.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Yes.
Kathleen? Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. Stormwater permit, management permit?
Oh, one more.
Almost done.
So this is the write-up in the initial portion of the document. Number 1, section 1 is going to be the motion on the vote. Section 2 is the materials, which we already reviewed. Same, and then the section 3 is our findings. Similar findings here as we typically do in our stormwater, but we did add the same one about the 100-year floodplain overlay district on this one as well. Waiver requests, I'll transfer all the waiver requests that we just
So
did.
we don't have to do them again?
Nope, because they're all the same. I just had them both in both documents, just to document it in case one person's looking at one decision. The general conditions are our general stormwater conditions that we have in here. And then our special conditions here is one of them is the certificate of completion shall be recorded at the Middlesex South Registry of Deeds by the owner, and the copy of the recorded decision shall be submitted electronically to the planning department. And number 2, which is the other condition that we've already stated at the in the previous decision.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
I'd like to make a comment on the special condition and the word electronic. Can't it just say the decision will be submitted to the planning board?
That's what we have in our regulations, word for word.
Stormwater?
Yeah, that just comes straight out of our regulations.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we need a motion to approve the stormwater management permit?
Yes, so section 1, for whoever wants to.
I'll read it. Motion for approval of the site plan pursuant to subsection 5 and 6 stormwater management and air general bylaws, subject to the standard conditions 1 through 35 and special conditions numbered 1 through 2 that we just read in this decision, and there were no additional conditions presented at the meeting.
Specifically, this is for phase 1.
And this is for phase 1. I haven't made, is that a motion? Did I just make the motion by reading it? Okay, so motion there. All right. Phase 1, major stormwater approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Nathan seconds. Any discussion?
Yes, just,
Yes, sir.
Danny, for clarification, the motion has the word site plan in it. Is that because it's a section of the site plan?
Where?
First sentence, motion for the approval of the
ye-
site plan pursuant to.
Yes.
That's
It's
okay.
the overall
It's a-
site.
Stormwater management being a portion of the,
Correct. And that's written up here in the description that gets recorded. So at the top it says, so this is to certify a duly noticed public hearing of the Ayer Planning Board regarding a site plan review and major stormwater management.
okay.
Any further discussion? Because Ken made the second, right?
Nathan did.
Nathan did, right?
Yeah, does DPW get involved with the review of this as well? And stormwater regulations and whatnot? They
Yes.
get-
Yeah, so-
Their oversight on the whole drawing, they look at.
Yes. So the decisions were sent out to
All the board, all of your-
yeah.
Sub-department,
Yep.
department heads.
Yep. So that was sent out and it was reviewed and we didn't really have any comments.
Okay.
That's it? Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing for 0 Bly Street, map 33, parcel 25.
Second.
Any discussion?
Who are we giving it to?
Yeah, the hearing,
Nathan got it. Okay.
Give it to Julie? Okay, thank you.
so.
Ken?
Because it's a consolidated hearing,
Yep.
site plan and stormwater, we're closing both with one motion.
Believe so.
Thank you. Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
Nathan?
Shane.
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Next is 0 High Street.
Okay.
We're going to start with the stormwater peer review comments.
Oh,
Before we get to that, just so I can update the board as to where we are, what we've done.
yeah, right.
So at the last hearing, on the 8th, we had a hearing on kind of the open space and some of the other town department head comments. This meeting was for stormwater and to go through traffic as well. Prior to this meeting, I had a meeting. It was myself, Matt, the applicant's engineer, and the peer reviewer to go through the stormwater peer review comments. So what we'll do is we will go through each of the comments. I believe Jim is on Zoom. We cannot see him right now because the screen is currently down. It'll have to be fixed at another, they said tomorrow, because they'd have to reset the whole system, which would kind of not be good at this moment. So you won't be able to see the peer reviewer right now, but he will be able to speak and you'll be able to hear him. So we'll discuss stormwater and traffic. So I think the first step would be to have the applicant and his engineer and their engineer come up. That way we can kind of have the peer reviewer kind of go through go through their stormwater comments.
Okay, and are we just doing the yellow open comments on the spreadsheet? Is that the open
Yes.
comments are concerned tonight this evening?
Yes, so the I would say we can go through all of the comments because most of them,
Okay.
only the yellow ones are going to be the most important ones that are currently we'll be discussing, but all the other ones were already addressed.
Okay.
So we can kind of go through all of those comments all at once. They're the ones that are not yellow are pretty quick because they've already been addressed. So I think I'll just turn it over to Jim on this one and just let him kind of go through the comments here.
Okay.
Welcome,
Hi,
Jim.
everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, you guys just want to go quickly one by one. Sounds like that's the
Can
plan.
Can I interrupt just for a second?
Yes.
Through the chair.
Yes, go ahead, Ken.
Can we have Jim and Ian give us a generalized overview of stormwater design and what that design is based on? We don't just go through this list 1, 2, 3, but you give us an overview first of the whole layout of the how you design the stormwater system. And give us an explanation of that. Then we can go through, put the plan up, I hope, on the screen.
That's what I'm gonna do right
That's what he's
Show
doing now.
those pieces of the plan as we go through the steps.
Okay.
Make sense?
Sure.
So, hold on, Jim.
Ken, if I understand you correctly, I'm gonna,
What I'm asking the engineer to do is put up the plan first.
Right.
Give us a general oversight of the design, the concept, how it works, then go through the itemized breakdown of comments and whatnot.
right, and what I wanted to clarify for everyone, I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying, is that in the general sense, we want to know what's the strategy here?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we noticed that the site is such and such a way, we want to direct the water to this location, blah, 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 because X, Y, Z. It's that general overall, like, think of like the strategic level first, then we can dive into one by one on the comments. Is that what you're saying?
I think that makes the point clear.
That-
Would it be helpful to show the watershed plan?
Yeah,
You want the watershed map? What page is that again?
That'll be the last 2 pages. So
That
if you
one.
put it on, that's existing, yeah,
Think you want existing?
yeah.
Okay. Just give it a second to load. Here we go.
Okay. Okay, so if you can see there are 3 catchment areas.
Right.
They're outlined in that green. See the green outlines?
Yes.
There's E1, E2, and E3s. And the E1 is down to the left, and then down there, yeah. And then E2 is right there, and then E3 is the large one.
Larger one.
Those are 3 catchment areas that all go in different directions. The main one is E3, which goes down to Groton Harvard. And that's essentially the existing conditions. So why don't we go to the proposed conditions? Unfortunately, this is awfully complicated. But essentially what we have here, you'll see P1 down to the left and P2, that meaning proposed, P1 and P2 is down to the right. Right there, yeah, there we go.
P1, P2.
Yeah, that's sort of what is left over of was E1 and E2, and they are reduced substantially in area, so the amount of runoff from those 2 areas is reduced substantially. All the rest of the runoff is collected by house roofs and road drains, and all the water coming down from behind it up above on the top, on the northern area, it comes down and is collected as well and goes through the infiltration basin. And that slows down the runoff substantially. It is also cleaned before it gets there. The overflow of that then goes down to the Caltech chambers, which cleans it further to have 95% suspended solids removed. And then it drains to the same place it currently drains. And in every way, the amount of runoff is reduced, both in volume and velocity. So, and that goes in all directions. So that's an overall view of what we're doing. And I can go into more detail about, the street drains collect the water on the streets, the roofs, and as stated on the cover sheet, will be all runoff from the roofs is collected and tied into the street drains. And that goes down to the infiltration basin.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the threshold, because over here, before water actually would begin to flow to the Caltech? I mean, how much do you have to get here in this infiltration basin before it even kicks in and flows over here?
How much? Any amount of well, the infiltration basin will collect a certain amount of runoff that will infiltrate,
Okay.
and that'll be for very small storms. It's not 1 inch or anything, but it'll be a small storm. Normal small rainfall, there will be no runoff. That's of the collected runoff. But there's also water coming from VOA, water coming from on the northern side. That is also, some of that is also collected and goes through. It just so happens that's the topographical layer.
Yeah.
But so there's quite a lot of water that does go through the infiltration basin.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
question on, Ian, you mentioned the volume is reduced.
Yes.
And just to clarify, that's because in the existing conditions, there is no catch basin and therefore any infiltration. Well, explain to me why the volume is reduced.
Okay. Because the water that's collected, there are 2 places that it's infiltrated, both the infiltration basin and the Caltech chambers. And the Caltech chamber, where the Caltech chambers is a much sandier soil and can absorb more water. It's much more rapid flow into the ground. So while there is runoff, that water can be absorbed by the ground. And the intentions here are to both reduce the peak flow and the volume.
One more question, sir. E2, if you don't have to jump back because it'll take a while to load. E2 is right about where P12 is.
P2.
P2. Okay.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the main
E1
one?
and
E3.
E3.
E3 was the major.
Yeah.
That one presumably leads to water running into the adjacent properties.
Yeah, there's water going over adjacent properties.
That's
correct.
where the lines
Yes.
are drawn.
That's current runoff.
Yeah.
Correct.
So some portion of E3 in this proposal will be gone. Will be captured prior to flowing down the hill. So
yes,
is not only the overall volume is lower, but would you say that the volume shedding to the sides to these properties adjacent would be
reduced?
Lower?
Yeah. Correct. The amount of runoff over that. The only difference is that where it runs off is it has kind of swales where it goes, and those swales are still there. And the amount of water in those swales will be reduced.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
Sure.
Yeah, let's turn it over to Jim.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we can start with 5/5A, which is the first yellow one. So this comment is in relation to the infiltration basin. So part of the construction schedule was that they're going to use the infiltration basin as a sediment basin, and then they're going to restore the basin.
Can you read the comment?
Jim, can you just read the comment so that the audience can hear it?
Okay. Yep.
Line 5.
Okay. So once the infiltration basin is restored by removing the silt, will there be disturbance upgrading of the infiltration basin? If there is disturbance upgrading to the infiltration basin, consider adding straw wattles upstream of the basin to protect the basin from sediment. and the applicant said that they would add that. So I think that comment will be addressed once we get the updated plans. Should I keep moving on to the next one?
Yeah, keep moving, Jim.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. So 6A, the minimums for sewer and water separation are mostly not met. Please revise. Detail also shows water main as 6-inch sediment ductile iron pipe, while plans show 8-inch. Please revise to match. The applicant is currently coordinating with the DPW on this matter. And this is necessarily a stormwater matter. So I think we can move on to the next comment from this one. So 7A, so this one's a little bit technical. Based on how the weir/orifice is modeled, it appears
Ask
that
him
there
to
is
do
a
them
trap.
all. Don't skip the A's, if you would.
Jim, can you just, can you not skip the, to just the A's? Can you read both comments?
Okay.
Even
So
ones that-
the
even
reason
the ones that are
why
fixed.
I didn't read the initial one was because that was the initial comment, and then they responded, and then 7A is basically saying what's still open from 7.
Yeah, it's just so that
okay.
the people in the audience can see it. I mean, can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it provides,
right.
I think it provides background to the steps that are being taken. You started with item 7, part of it's been done, what's left is 7A, but I think it's clearer if you go through each item one at a time. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So 7, please provide more detail in OCS, which means outlet control structure, detail to show the weir. It is unclear how the weir works. Also verify elevations. Is top of weir also rim elevation? If so, this is the same elevation as the emergency spillway elevation. OCS should be lower than the emergency spillway. Please revise. And then their response was detail revised. 100-year storm peak elevation below top. 7A said, based on how the weir/orifice is modeled, it appears there is a trapezoidal hole in the side of the OCS from the bottom of the infiltration basin to the top of the structure. This is a very irregular structure. Will a precaster make this structure, or will this be field cut? Please confirm the structure is constructible. Since the orifice is open at the bottom of the basin, it provides no water quality volume. This is being used in calculations providing 80% TSS removal. Since it is providing no water quality volume, it does not achieve the 80% TSS removal. Please revise. So
It's hard to go back and forth to the plan and the note, to see it. That's the problem.
You can continue. I can pull it up and.
Like, just put up these drawings, what are the U1, 2 in the background, so you can flip back to them if you have to.
Yeah.
He's talking about that structure right there, that detail.
So yeah, so that detail right there, and you can see there's on that front view, you can see that trapezoidal shape that's above the circle, and that's representing the opening in the side of the structure. So the comment was, is that constructible? I want to make sure that a precaster can make that. Typically, it has a top section. So I'm working with the applicant to make sure that it is a constructible structure. Also, the other comment is that the orifice opening is right at the bottom of the basin. So basically, the water's going in the basin and coming right out through the orifice. That orifice should be raised so that it provides some infiltration and water quality volume.
Why'd you draw it like that? Why did you draw it like that?
Well, my original design did provide some retained water. And from the design, I was trying to get it down to the Celtic chambers as completely, but then it doesn't really meet. I didn't really realize it didn't meet the 80%. I thought it did, but Jim pointed out it didn't meet it. So I can raise it slightly and won't change anything. That's how my first design was higher, but I brought it down. So
the way this works, my experience, is that you're showing to the right, you're showing the bottom of the basin and the side slope of the basin. That typically, what I'm familiar with, and it may not be this, is the water in the basin would rise up to that inlet at the top, and then it would leave there and go down to the, but that's not what the design is.
no.
Why is
No.
it grade at the top?
Why is the grate at the top? That's
Just
if it overflows. That's if it overflows. I mean, you could leave it open. You don't want matter in there just to keep it clean.
okay.
For surcharge.
So what's going to leave that basin is going to be based on the height of that. You're calling it a weir, or you're calling it
The weir, right?
right?
Right.
And so I think when we met, we said that the applicant would revise the plan.
Okay, all right. So Jim, you're good with that note for now?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna work together to
So
make
this
sure
is
that
yet to be
provides.
finalized, is what we're.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just to clarify,
Can
yeah.
I make one comment? I mean, these comments that I made here were without making any changes to the plans. This is to try and make sure we're on the same wavelength as to what we're reviewing and whether we agree with his comments and whether I understand everything he's asking for. So that was the purpose of this response.
That's what I was going to clarify as
Yeah.
well. That we had a meeting to review the comments and that a revision would be coming.
Okay, thanks. That, okay, Mr. Chair? Yeah.
Yes, it is. All right, you can go to 8 and 8A.
Okay. Please show basin bottom material along with seasonal high groundwater in relation to basin bottom and infiltration basin detail. That was 8. And then 8A says detail has not been updated to reflect these. Please see original comment and revise. So yes, it's this detail. You know, I'd like to see a line on this detail, kind of showing where the seasonal high water line is relative to the bottom of the basin, or where is ledge relative to the bottom of the basin, so that I can confirm that there's adequate separation between the bottom and ledge or seasonal high groundwater.
Okay.
That's going to be pretty important.
You okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So his comment is,
Yeah, elevation should be. I just think it's important to let the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Well,
say
remember,
this.
we did this on so we did have a chance to go with the back and forth here.
I do provide it for the Celtic chambers showing precisely where the water is. I mean, usually you can read it from the contours, but you want the detail, I'll add it to the detail.
Thank you.
14 and 14A?
So 14, the discharge points are missing from the plan. There should be discharge points for each watershed area. Please revise. 14A, discharge points are necessary for the watershed plans and hydraulic calculations for the site. Please include discharge points for each area. If there is a reduction in P grades, then it should be shown in the report. Please revise. So, so for this one, I know Ian went over the watershed plan earlier, and we did discuss this offline too. So I have a better understanding of what's going on now. Previously, when I was looking at the watershed plan, typically I would see the exact location of where the discharge points are, not just the labels of the subcatchments. And that was kind of what I was looking for, and for some clarification. But I have a better understanding of how that works now. So I think I can close out that comment. Okay. Next one is 18 and 18A. EPA's pollution removal method was not used. Please use the method to determine the pollution removal for the project. And the applicant requested a waiver, and then we defer to the board for the waiver approval. To give a little background information on what the EPA removal method is. So there's different ways to calculate the 90% TSS removal and 60% phosphorus removal. One method is using the 1 inch. So if you do 1 inch times the impervious area and provide that water quality volume, then you meet the 90% and 60% TSS, 90% TSS and 60% phosphorus removal. The EPA method is a little bit more detailed. So, if you go above the 1 inch, then it might say, you're providing 92% and 63%. So, my recommendation is that it's okay if they don't use the EPA method, as long as they're meeting the 1 inch water quality requirement.
Thank you.
This is under our section of stormwater regulations that took this notice within.
Yeah, so it's under the stormwater regulation, but it's a reference to the stormwater Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook as well, because that's where we get it from.
Ian's response is that he's using the stormwater policy, Mass stormwater policy. That was
What he means is there's two different ways of calculating it. That's what he was talking about. So there's the EPA one and the way that Ian calculated it. And the Massachusetts stormwater. Yes. And it's just same thing. It gives you the same number. It's just the EPA has more detail in it.
Right.
And
yeah.
The peer reviewer stated that he's fine as long as they're meeting the 1 inch.
That's the first 1 inch
for
of
something.
waterfall, right?
That's for something that we can talk about at a later date, because if he is going to request a waiver, then he still needs to write the justification and all that stuff.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, 21A, drawdown calculation shall be provided to confirm stormwater BMPs will fully drain within 72 hours. Please provide. The applicant said that it's shown in HydroCAD, and then our response was HydroCAD does not show the time that it'll take for the stormwater BMPs to fully drain. A separate drawdown calculation shall be provided, and the applicant said that they would provide that. So no issue there.
So just that's closed?
Oh,
That's closed?
once they provide it, I can close it out.
Okay.
22A, the project appears to overflow onto Groton Harvard Road and enter a closed drainage system. Has this been coordinated with the town? And the applicant said yes, they've been coordinating with the DPW. So we recommend a condition of approval, condition of DPW approval to address this comment. 23A, please explain how the infiltration basin will be accessed for maintenance. The access shall be no less than 15 feet wide, and access shall be around the entire perimeter of the basin. Please revise to provide adequate access. And I believe the applicant is going to provide the 15 feet access, right, Ian?
Correct.
It says 12.
Yeah, it says 12, but during our discussion, the applicant did agree to the 15-foot request.
But not shall not be provided around the entire perimeter of the basin, and because I certainly feel that that's unnecessary. I mean, access to the basin is perfectly adequate.
So it's going to be along here, along the front, up on the
plan. Yeah, you can see the road where it is.
It's going to be right there.
And there's a turnaround, and provides access to doing any removal of debris within the infiltration basin, as well as mowing, which is essentially what it's there for.
I think that's reasonable.
I'm curious, can we comment on these as we go or at the end, or what's your preference? Because I'm interested in what DPW has to say about this, considering they were just referenced.
I think I'd like Jim, the engineer, is being paid by the hour to be here, so I'd like him to go through first, and then we'll take questions after he speaks. Yes.
Chair, can I just make one quick?
Yes, Janet?
The DPW was in this meeting too.
Yes,
So
they
they're
were.
familiar with the discussions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Danny, can you just have him shift that over so people see the first column, which is, basically this whole second page is we're talking about the town of Ayer stormwater regulations.
Yes.
But we're not talking about like a state, these are things that are written up on our stormwater regulations, some of which we talked about in the previous discussion at Zero Bly Street. So
Yep.
these are just questions about the details in our stormwater regulations and how they comply and need to be adjusted accordingly. Thank you.
Where are we now? 25? 25A?
Yeah, 25.
25A, the pre and post construction peak rate analysis does not have the discharge points discharging to neighboring properties. Please provide to include impacts to neighboring properties. 25A, as noted in 14A, although a reduction in areas likely means that impacts result in no increase. A peak rate table with all discharge points is needed to show that there is a reduction for each discharge point. Please revise. So as I said back in 14A, when I talked to the applicant about this, I got more clarification. So this comment can be closed.
5 and 25A.
Yeah, 25 and 25A. 26 and 26A, it appears that not all impervious surfaces will be captured and treated by stormwater BMPs. Please provide a capture area adjustment to confirm the recharge standard is met. The applicant's response was all impervious surfaces will be captured. And then 26A, P1 and P2 have items listed as CN of 98, ledge/driveway/buildings. Are CN values in P1 and P2 only ledge? Please confirm. And the applicant confirmed that P1 and P2 only have ledge and not driveways and buildings that would require additional treatment. So that comment can be closed. 27A, the stormwater systems shall be designed to retain 1 inch times the post-construction impervious surface. The required calculation has been included in the report, but the provided water quality volume does not include in the report. Please provide the HydroCAD storage tables to confirm this has been met. The applicant provided storage tables. 27A, based on the narrative, the required water quality volume is 25,955 cubic feet. Based on the HydroCAD model, orifice outlet elevations, the infiltration basin provides 0 CFS as the orifice is at the elevation 291, which is the bottom of the basin. And the chamber system has a culvert at elevation 237.65, which provides 894 cubic feet. The water quality requirement has not been met. Please revise. So we discussed this with the applicant, and basically what needs to happen is they need to raise that orifice in weir for the infiltration basin to get more volume, and then they also need to revise the outlet control structure for the subsurface chamber system to infiltrate more. So this is an open comment that Ian is working on to update.
Danny, can I, just one quick thing here. The notes that we're reading pretty much always use the terms BMPs with an S, but we're only talking about one BMP, aren't we?
BMPs, there's a basin and there's an infiltration basin.
Okay, so those
I mean,
are the two
chambers.
BMPs we're talking about. There's only two.
They're only,
Cor-
There's only 2 BMTs, right, on the job?
Correct.
Right,
There's
right,
an infiltration
right.
basin
And
and
Caltech
subsurface
chambers.
chambers.
Yeah,
She just keeps saying plural, BMPs. It implies
Okay.
there could be more than 2 is what I'm
yeah,
getting at.
okay.
It's just
Yeah.
two.
Just
Yeah.
the 2. Jim, right?
Yes, just the 2.
Thank
And
you.
then they do have a storm scepter for pretreatment as
Yes,
well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
28 and 28A, it is unclear the limits of clearing. If there will be any street trees, please clarify. See landscaping plans. Landscaping plans were not provided to us. So,
So we did just receive the updated landscape plan, so I'll get that sent over to you.
okay, great. Thanks. 34A, the MA stormwater checklist and illicit discharge statement are missing. Please provide. The applicant's response was C, O, and M, and the MA stormwater checklist has not been included in the O and M plan, so please provide. So after speaking with the applicant, they said that they would provide the stormwater checklist in their report on their next submission. So that should be okay. 36A. This section has a breakdown of hydraulic soil groups. It breaks down by percentages for each type. This is very confusing and it's hard to tell what hydraulic soil group is for each ID. NRCS hydraulic soil group should be used instead of breaking it down by percentages. Please revise. And then 36A, per the NRCS web soil survey, each soil group is considered to have one hydraulic soil group rating. For example, 104D is D soil, but the provided table shows that it's a blend of several. The soil group should be considered D, not anything else. So when I met with the applicant, they went through all the different soil types and all the different breakdowns. It wasn't something that I have seen typically. Usually, you take more of a less detailed approach, where this seemed a little bit more detailed. So once I saw how it was done and how it was more detailed, I felt that their approach was okay.
Closed.
So that's closed.
So in essence, the applicant chose a route that was actually more complex, like that they actually drilled deeper into the multiple soil types that were classified within that D. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
They went more detailed than you typically see, which is generally a good thing. Yeah. So.
Thank you.
37A. Standard 8 in the plan should note that a SWIP will be provided due to the project resulting in over an acre of disturbance. Has a SWIP been prepared? Please revise. The applicant consent to be provided. We recommend that the acceptance of the SWIP be made a condition of approval.
The section column is not filled in on these. Is that because these are just like general comments, or is that meant to be a continuation of?
I believe these are just general comments, correct?
Okay, is that?
They relate to HydroCAD.
Relate to this.
Right, but there's like,
Yeah, because they're
in
not.
previous,
Yeah.
right, it would be like a HydroCAD and it would say in reference to the air stormwater regulations versus these are just kind of like general catch-all.
Yeah, these are just general.
Talking about the output from HydroCAD, and I simplified as much as I can. He wants more, he wants it in a way that he can review it how he normally reviews it. So I can change how I've submitted it, add more information.
Yeah, so if you look at this, it says it on the left-hand side. It's the HydroCAD that they're talking about.
Yep.
Should have put
Okay.
HydroCAD into the section maybe instead of under the sheet number. Or drawing number. Yeah, that's what made it confusing. Okay.
All right,
Okay, 38A. The total pre-construction area is not provided. Please provide to confirm the total pre and post areas are the same for modeling. The applicant said refer to the narrative of the report. And our response was this needs to be printed out from HydroCAD to confirm the pre and post are actually modeled correctly in HydroCAD. So that's just an overall area that HydroCAD prints out so that you can see, the pre-construction has the same total area as the post-construction. So the applicant will provide that. 39A. This is area considered B soils throughout the HydroCAD model and RCS does not consider any areas as B soils. Please clarify the areas considered as B soils in the drainage area plans. As previous comment states, the soils are associated with one NRCS soil group and only one that is B soils is 103C. Please revise. So this goes back to that previous comment about how they did a more detailed breakdown of the soils. So this one can be closed. 40A, the infiltration basin has two primary outlets discharging to DMH31. This should be separated to a primary flow to DMH31 from the OCS and a secondary flow. For the emergency spillway that discharges to the DP, please revise. And then 40A, this is still modeled incorrectly. Please see comment number 40 and revise. So just the modeling output needs to be revised for that one. 42A.
Is that you on that?
No, I'm in.
40 and 48, yeah.
I'm fine with where we are with that. I mean, I think Jim agrees that. I mean, what are we talking? We're talking about 40.
Yeah.
48, right?
48.
Yeah, I mean that there is no flow on the emergency spillway, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I can change it.
Right. Yeah. So if there is no flow, going the emergency spillway, then yeah, it's not going to make a difference in the HydroCAD output. So in the end, it should be okay. Either way.
I just wrote being revised on mine. That's all. Good.
Okay, so 42A. There is invert inconsistency between the plan and D6, DMH31 to DMH37. Please revise. And then the applicant said revise, and then our comment was D6, DMH31 to DMH37 does not match the plans. Please revise. So this is basically matching up the inverts that are shown on the plan to what is shown in HydroCAD. So I think they're pretty close. It was just maybe a little off that needed to be updated.
No, let me make a comment on that. The invert into the chamber is the same both on HydroCAD and on the plan. The problem is there are several manholes, and at every manhole, well, not every manhole, but most of the manholes, it steps down because you're controlling the flow by keeping the slope not too steep on the pipes. In HydroCAD, there's just one, whatever you call it.
Input.
You
Yeah,
have to average the input, is that what you're saying?
one input, okay, for all of it. And so I make sure that the slope is the same, because in fact, all those pipes have the same slope. and that the length, if you add up all the little small ones, it's the same length in both, and the end is the same invert. It just summarizes it all, as opposed to putting every single pipe as a separate entity within HydroCAD. I mean, just simplifies it without making any effects on the calculations.
Jim, is that satisfactory?
Yeah, that should be fine.
So
That's closed.
45 and 45A is closed.
No, that's 40,
Uh,
it's 42 and 42A.
Oh,
Yeah, 42 and 42.
okay, I had written update on that, so we're just gonna. All right.
45, 45A, for the infiltration basin, there is a custom weir / orifice is modeled as the primary outlet. It should be revised, so it's routed to the pipe, and the pipe is the primary outlet. Please revised. This is still modeled incorrectly. See comment number 45 revised.
Yeah.
So, when we met with Ian, I went through exactly,
Yeah.
in more detail of what I was looking for
Yeah,
this.
that's
so I
fine.
think you
That's
addressed.
not a
Yeah.
problem.
Okay. 46, 46A. There is a HydroCAD model for impervious only. This model is a subsurface chamber system differently than the proposed HydroCAD model. These should be consistent. Also, there is a 24-inch orifice model, but this is not shown in the plans. Please revise. The impervious only model is still different from the full model. Please revise so they're consistent. The 24-inch pipe model for the chamber system, the inverts do not match between the plans and the HydroCAD. The pipe should be modeled as the pipe from the manhole to the flare end section. Please revise.
Yeah,
So-
I actually misunderstood precisely what he was talking about there. And there is a slight problem with the slope of the ground and the flared end. And to correct that, a head wall can be provided as suggested by Jim, and I agree with that. So I think that's what we're talking about, right?
I think you skipped one. I think, Ian, you're looking at.
I'm at the
number
last
48.
one, yeah, 49, 48.
We're at 46.
Yeah.
Yeah, 46A.
46.
Yeah, we're still on
Oh, we're
46A.
still 46A, okay.
So 46, 46A, Ian talked about this too, and we felt that the additional model for the impervious surface only wasn't necessary because, he's modeling the full build out going to a system, and he's going to show the water quality volume based off of the stage the stage volume tables that HydroCAD gives you. So I think we can close this one out too, because this seemed like additional modeling that wasn't necessary. And then 48 was please verify that the rim for DMH 38 is 241.8 when the flared end section is 234 and is only 14 feet away. This suggests that the slope is higher than 3-to-1. Please verify if this area is steep. Please use a head wall rather than a flared end section for an outlet pipe. And so as Ian just said before, he's going to use the head wall. So that should be closed. 49, please consider reducing the slope for the pipe between DMH 38 and flared end 38 to reduce velocities and erosion.
Yeah, I was a little confused there. I think the last one, the slope is the same as all the other 24-inch pipe slopes at 0.0225, same slope. So I don't think there's any necessity to reduce the slope there. When we're talking about ground slope, this is where I got mixed up with ground slope and
Slope of the
pipe slope. certainly isn't a problem with the pipe slope. From drain manhole 38 to flared end 38, the slope is 0.0225, same as every other 24-inch pipe.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably fine.
I mean, it can
I
show it
think,
on the
like
plan. I mean, it's labeled on the plan. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm just saying, consider it. It was a recommendation. You know,
okay,
if you could make it flatter, you know, if you could make it 1% so that it doesn't come out of the flared end section as quick and it goes through the riprap. I know it is kind of directed up the road, so you know, trying to slow it down as much as possible coming out
yeah,
of that flared end section. That's all I was saying.
okay,
But the subsurface chamber system itself should be, you know, retaining flow on its own. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it was just more of a recommendation than, you know, something that something to consider. And yeah, that's all the stormwater comments that are open.
So I'd like to open it up for questions from the board first. Board comments on this, any reflections or comments on the stormwater report this evening, or the review?
We talked about the plan as well.
Mhm.
So can you, it's you one and you two, right? So can you? Ian, was there, I'll just do this from memory, but is there a reference on the plan to the size of the riprap where you use it, 3 to 4, 4 to 6, whatever? Is there any detail on that?
the only it's on the detail sheet, which is a standard detail. I'm not sure that it.
It shows it on the plan, but I think we should have a little more information about what
It's typically 4 to 6 inch.
Yeah, if you look at I think the next sheet has detail to the riprap right there.
so there's any outlet from a flared end or any other riprap on the site is gonna match that detail right there, right? What does it say for the size?
It does not have a size of the stone, so maybe we just add.
Some detail about what the stone is, and
Right. Okay.
please.
It does actually on the section view. It
Okay.
has stone for pipe ends, D50 equals 6 inch. So
Yep, 6 inch. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, it does.
which seemed reasonable. So
Okay. There was, in the report, I only took some things out of the pages in the report, but having to do with the test results and whatnot, there's a little confusion, maybe a typo in the actual report. There's a paragraph, it repeats, I don't know if we get the report up there, but
The stormwater report?
yeah, there's a couple of typos, I think. But quickly, one of the things in the report is it refers to appendixes. It says there's an appendix B, test pit logs, and I didn't find any logs, and then it says there's an appendix C, test pit photos, and there was no photos in the actual report. That was quickie.
Okay.
The page on, right at the very beginning, I think, Danny, in the narratives, so under the methods.
The test bits there.
Can I see?
I should have numbered the page, it led to number the page.
Oh, let me see. This is one. Is this from the stormwater report?
It's from I thought it was the narrative of the report, but maybe I'm wrong.
The narrative's right in the beginning.
Yeah, because that was what I was going through. Yeah, this is the updated report.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just see.
This had to do with the, oh, wait a minute. Just up a little further. There you go.
This?
Sorry about that. Maybe a little ahead of that.
These are the standards.
Yeah, okay. I goofed it up, so.
I don't know what that's from. Is that from? Are you sure?
Right now, it says introduction 1.0. And then it goes 1.02 pre-development conditions, 2 methods.
Is that from the blasting though?
No. And the results.
It's not in here. Let's see. I don't see anything that matches that. Oh, right here.
Okay, here it is, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is,
okay, right, that came from, the engineer who did the soil testing.
Oh, that was his report.
It's
Excuse me.
his report, and there were two different engineers doing tests, 'cause this was the first test done.
So I was looking at the tests because I was interested in the soil types and
Yes,
the
that's his,
perk tests and what was going on under the ground and stuff like that.
right.
In this, under the paragraph where it says results, I think it's a typo here.
Soil's gonna be formed.
Says the refusal was found at 65 inches below grade at test pit 2. The test pit's closest to the foot slope. Then it says test pit 2 again, the other pit. I think that's supposed to be test
Yeah.
pit 3 at that point.
That's your brother.
Yep, that was,
Um,
yeah, that,
Typos in there, I noticed, but.
Excuse me?
Test pit 2, the refusal was at around 65 inches or whatever it was. Test pit 3, I didn't even get down to the refusal, on
Right,
test
but
pit
it's,
3.
I'm just correcting that.
Right, so-
Should say 3 there, right? Okay, so 2 and 3 on the drawings were close together, right? They were fairly close.
Yes.
In the big retention basin.
yes.
And they're kind of on the slope.
Oh, on that retention basin, that one, yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
they're right here.
So my concern here is when you relocated the retention system and you moved it further from residences but closer to the development, will somebody verify that those 2 locations are still good enough because they're not in the basins, bottom of the basin?
I can do more tests.
I'd say do more tests to represent that the location falls in the middle of the basin where it's been relocated. Dean, any comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that's pretty consistent. We're in the same type of soil, in that area. But
Except one
if
said
you-
refusal, pretty high. Wasn't very deep at one of them, the refusal. So if refusal is,
I don't have any problem getting them to.
Okay,
okay, a
do
couple
more
more,
tests.
2 more test bits maybe, Mr. Chair?
Well, that's a perk and a depot. That's what those 2 tests are. One's a perk, one's a test pit.
No, I got it, but I'm referring to the test bits. The perks
Yeah.
I saw were down by the house.
Yeah, so you want a test pit.
I want
in here.
test pits where the retention system has been relocated.
Yeah, I can think of it.
Yeah, that was, so I'm in the right section on that.
Yeah, it was just not the it was the second narrative.
So thank you for that. Okay, so then it refers to 2 percolation tests, which she calls PT. And it says that they are, one it says is one is on the other sloped portion of the lot. I don't know what that means. It says 2 percolation tests were provided, one between TP1 and TP2 in the rear grassed area of the dwelling of 38.
Yeah. So here's
The next one, it says.
this is P2.
You have to kind of, no, it's over here. I'm talking about,
Bottom.
I'm talking about the perk tests over here.
Yep,
by-
that's perk test 1.
Yep,
And perk test 2 is up here.
right, then it says, in the other, it says, the rear of the grass, then it says the other on the slope portion of the lot.
Yeah, right up here. Perk 2. PT2.
Okay, thank you, I couldn't find that on the print, so now it's,
Yeah, it's just
pretty
just
blended
hard
in
to-
with
yeah.
TP.
yeah, cuz
Pit 2 and 3, right?
yeah, TP3 is up here and that's
Look,
Okay,
if you look on
test.
the existing conditions, it's easier to see.
Okay.
They're all there.
yeah, okay, thank you.
The second sheet, so.
All right, I wanted that one anyway, so I could point out that I wanted it further into the new location.
okay.
Okay, so I got that, thank you. Then it says, it talks about a test pit 3, and right there, is located approximately in the middle of the lot, separating 2 locust parcels, but we already talked about a
It's right
test
here.
pit 3.
This is test pit 3.
Okay, so 2 and 3 are close, but in the report, he's got them kind of separated here. And then the perk tests, I don't know if anyone brought this up. Did Green talk about the seasonal testing for the perk test, whether it was identified the estimated seasonal high groundwater or not?
Matt was out there for that.
So that's been redone. It wasn't in the report,
yes,
but it was done after this, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, the seasonal high groundwater is determined by the color of the soil.
I know,
And
I've been in the
by-
hole.
we actually-
Not this one, but other ones.
Yeah, so it was
And we also did the testing in, what was it, February?
it was so it was done twice. They did
Right.
where the seasonal high groundwater was done.
Right,
So
okay.
Matt went out there and verified the second version,
Second
the
test.
second test.
So this report here is what I'm getting at, was done in the
Earlier.
winter.
Yes.
If you've done another one, should we see something in a report form for the second?
Yes, the report is in there.
This, okay,
It follows that report. There's one
all right.
done by Richard Harrison. What's his name?
Okay, got it. The second one by Harris, second.
Harrington.
At the very end, Harrington.
Yes.
Okay, thank you on that. That was good. Now what about the logs? I guess that's the only note that I saw, that somewhere it talked about the logs and there weren't any logs.
Logs are right here.
No, the,
They're right there.
is there an appendix? That's Harrington's logs. Go back up to where that language was, if you would.
This is Appendix B. Appendix A is right here.
I found appendix A, but I didn't find B or C.
Yeah, B is right here. We just looked at it.
Sure that wasn't just.
Appendix B.
Okay. What about the photos?
No photos were added there. You're now looking, yeah.
Yeah, there's no photo.
Okay, that's what I had on that, so, thank you.
Any further questions from board members? I'd like to open this to public comment, restricted to, just we're talking about the stormwater report. Any questions or comments from the public? Yes, sir. What's that?
No repeating of comments.
And I'm also going to ask that, that we don't repeat comments. If someone has said something that you agree with, it's enough for you to say, I just want to say, I agree with that person. And we don't want to cover the ground again, just so that we can move the meeting along. But
Sure. Jacob Kazar, 30 Groton Harvard Road. So I tried to read this, but obviously I'm not an expert. So I understand how the pervious impacts, like the roofs and the roads, are fed into the stormwater system. But like along the north and eastern edge is going to be crushed stone to build back up from the blasting in the middle. And I know there's going to be, grass and yards there, and if you ever poured a glass of water on stone compared to soil, it goes a lot quicker. I'm wondering, is that water being filtered or pushed in some way towards the stormwater system, or is it just going to drop through that stone to the bedrock and come out the side, creating erosion? I'm just wondering, is there a plan for that water, or has that water been accounted for in any way in this report?
Which area are you talking? Down here?
So no,
I think
is north up here on this one?
Yeah, you're talking
So
up
north
here.
and east. So if you look at like the fill report, right? The center kind of area, and that area is blasted out, and then the eastern and north is built back up with that crushed stone. So the water in the non-impervious areas that's going to flow right through crushed stone, is there any way that is flowing into any of these stormwater areas? Because to me, if it's not, it feels like it's going to create an erosion effect.
So I think
on the side.
the question, are you asking so that crushed stone is going to be under the ground, and then there's going to be topsoil, and then there's going to be grass.
Yeah, but it's a difference of like grass and like a forest. So like, but so once it makes it through that soil, it goes right through to thing. I'm just wondering, are the lawns pitched to get towards a drainage pipe, or is that not accounted for in the?
Okay. All front yards slope towards the road.
Okay.
That is how the design is, from the roads all the way to every house around there. So the front yards are flowing to the roads, and the roofs are all being collected, and obviously all impervious surfaces are collected. There's also, remember, there's cut and fill here. So if you look at where it's coming down from the north, and you look at where the houses, you look at that, the contours to the left there, those exactly where Danny's marking it there, that's all cut. So that's actually a swale, and that's cut. That water is going to remain mostly in that swale and get caught by a catch basin. So the whole north area, which is as is existing conditions, because there's no changes up there, it's going to be collected by a double catch basin right there, where Danny's showing.
Okay.
And it'll go through the whole system. Where they're building on top of the fill, as Danny said, that's going to be lumen seeded. So the amount of water that goes in is counted as grass on existing soil. So there's not going to be much runoff going into the ground there. Most of it will be collected. That's how it's calculated.
Okay. Thank you.
Chair to Ian, was there any discussion, or did you look, we haven't talked about whether there are any perimeter drains around foundations. Does that come up at all in the discussion?
Yes.
We haven't talked about it here, though.
No. Jim brought it up, and I said it is shown on the front cover, showing that
There's a note.
there's a note.
Got it.
Yeah. Does that cover your question, or?
I saw the note, but I'm going to double check it.
And
No.
typically that's drawn at the construction drawing.
It comes out later in the field, basically.
Yeah, at the construction drawing level.
Leanne Govang, 34 Groton Harvard Road. A couple of quick comments, questions, and one big question. Correct me at that time if I can't go there yet. First question is a comment. Mr. Ian brought up that the soil currently at 38 Groton Harvard Road is very porous and it absorbs. Right now, it is not absorbing. And where it will be absorbing is where the Caltech is going to be, and I understand that. But if the Caltech is built up, does that mean that the water that is not going to be absorbed, that's going to be coming down, that's not going through the infiltration basin, is that going to be pushed over to 34 Groton Harvard Road or further back? So that's a question.
So you're talking about if any water comes down this way, because this is being built up now,
Yes.
is it going to be pushed this towards your property?
Which is exactly where it's not absorbing. Yes, that is my question.
There's currently a swale right there, and it is lower. That whole area is lower than 34. It's 34 Groton Harbour, right? It's lower than 34 Groton Harbour. That is, there's a natural swale there.
You can see the V shape?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the swale.
As you get closer to the street, like
It
immediately,
flattens. It flattens.
it flattens, and
Right.
it's Lake Lucchese is what we nicknamed it a long time ago.
You're going to have reduced runoff there. I mean, that's essentially what there's going to be, because most of the water is now being collected by this whole system that's being caught and put into the ground.
But it doesn't make way for the existing condition is the problem. So
When you say it doesn't make way for the existing condition.
it doesn't accommodate the existing situation, which I understand is not your responsibility. But if the existing condition remains the same and shifting the hill, and I mean, I understand the fence is right there, there's a drop off and whatever, that whole thing, the bottom of my driveway holds all that water.
Right. Well, let me say one thing. There's a problem right now at that one catch basin collecting all that water. The DPW is fully aware of that, and part of this project is to correct that problem. And we are in the process of working with DPW to make sure that water, it doesn't sit there anymore, and there'll be an adequate collection of that water to get it across the street.
Okay, thank you.
Can you just to clarify that for clarification for me, So when you make that statement, working with DPW, that I believe it's going to enter into a drawing that we'll see, that'll show that correction.
Yes.
So it's not just going to be a discussion, you can, okay.
Yeah, so part of the
Word discussion,
discussion as of right now, which will be memorialized within the decision, Matt and I have talked with the applicant. The plan would be that Matt and the town would design what we want,
okay,
and then the applicant would then construct
incorporate it into their drawings and
and
show it.
construct it.
I don't think the applicant the applicant won't be doing the construction across the road.
No, we agreed to do that.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Okay.
We agreed to do that. However, we did not agree to incorporate into the plans because we thought it would be cleaner for the town to, because
Design
Matt's the
it.
engineer, so he'll design
Yeah,
that.
Matt would design the
So the
plan.
DPW will simply write us a report that they've
What they want
agreed
done.
with that drawing.
Yeah.
And we'll write out a condition that
Compliance with that.
Yeah, I'll have Matt give me something in writing of what exactly the step-by-step of what he wants written out in that condition.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think the important thing to notice is that the pipe going across the street is a 10-inch pipe. We are putting in 24-inch pipe that carries a lot more water than that 10-inch pipe can carry. But that's existing conditions, that 10-inch pipe. And the water going there, we are reducing the runoff down to that catch basin. And we are improving the existing conditions. However, the existing conditions does not accommodate the amount of runoff coming off that hill. That hill is...
Or the road.
Or the road, and then neighboring lots that I don't include because they're in addition to what we are adding there. So, but that will all be improved, and it'll be improved for the sake of the town.
Great for the town, but I'm only worried about my property, so.
Improve your property.
Thank you. Second question, the infiltration basin on the hill. It was noted that runoff is all going to be going in there, and then if there's any spillover, I heard the word spillover and I freaked. So if there's spillover, where does that spillover go if it's not going to go in the infiltration to the Coltec?
It goes, what goes through the Coltec and comes out after it's been through Coltec chamber, which it has to go, has to be able to overflow somewhere.
Right.
It'll overflow into the new drains put in Groton Harbor.
She's
Talking about the
about here.
infiltration basin on the hill.
Oh,
Sorry.
the higher up, not the Celtic chambers. That is piped down to the catch basin on Groton Harbor.
Okay.
All the water collected from there goes into that, and then
Yep.
there's the weir, as the weir goes up, more volume goes in.
Right, yeah. I mean,
And
well,
then
it
goes into
it
that
overflows, basically. It
Okay.
overflows
So
through
it
pipes,
overflows into the Coltec, down to the Coltec system.
Down
It
to the
doesn't
Coltec.
overflow down the hill.
down the hill, right.
Over the side of on the ground, no.
But it's all piped, it's all collected.
No, that is what happens. Let's just clarify, I think she's talking
Spillway.
about the spillway on the infiltration
Right.
basin.
Yes.
At what capacity would it spill over the riprap on the
There you go.
spillway?
That's over 100-year, we don't even go beyond 100-year. So when there's a major flood
Okay.
beyond 100-year,
Yes, I think look at the last couple of years, not the last 100, but the last couple, there's been a lot more water and a lot more storms, as we know.
right.
So that's a really sensitive issue, that if there is a potential for it to overflow for any reason.
The amount that will overflow will still be substantially less than what will happen if nothing was done to that. It
So my
still
dining room
reduces
won't
it,
be
no
in
matter what,
like
it
a
reduces it.
Swimming pool. Okay, that's, again, entirely selfish reasons why I'm asking, because everything comes down that hill and goes straight into my dining room in my backyard, so.
I'm aware of that, and I can guarantee you that once this is fully constructed, there'll be far less water sitting at Groton Harvard Road.
Hopefully not in my dining room. Okay. Last and final, and please, again, correct me if I cannot bring this up right now. On any of the drawings, and I know this is a different proposal, I don't see the connection of where the water goes from the VOA project to the infiltration basin, that, how it will tie in there. Can I ask about that?
No, because that's not part of this application, but this will be on before the board on August 12th, but I can clarify on this, just to answer the question, because it's an easy one. They have designed, a way to capture the stormwater off of that parking lot up there to be held up there. And the way
But it will flow to the same infiltration basin on the hill going down to the Coltec?
No.
Okay, that's my question.
The existing conditions right now with VOA, where what we've designed here, it intercepts all the runoff from VOA.
I'm talking. I think she's talking about specifically the parking.
The parking lot. Okay, and that'll also be part of what is being intercepted. However, it has to be treated and accounted for as additional runoff.
Okay.
And we'll be able to really discuss it.
And that will be in all the calculations that are being calculated and, okay, thank you very much.
Gentleman in the gray shirt, please. Hi.
Carrier, 57 Cambridge Street.
Welcome.
I have two questions. The P1, P2 sites, catch basins, I think they are there. What is their capacity to handle water? My house is right downhill from one of them, so it's not an academic question to me. You know, exactly how much of a storm can one of those handle before it's, you know, coming down the hill.
Which lot? Do you know which lot that is?
I'm not sure on this map, but I think I'm downhill from P1. I'm 57 Cambridge.
Oh, you're up this way?
Yeah.
You're further.
I'm the dead end of, I'm Cambridge Street Extension.
He wants just an area.
Yeah. All right, maybe I have the map wrong, but, you know, it's...
The area of P1 is reduced substantially to what's currently there, feeding downhill from there.
Okay, okay. You're saying I'm further to the east on this?
I'm just going to pull up the map
when it's just
really
the,
quickly.
you know, the topographical, I'm good at reading a topographical map, but not tying it into the existing.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's why I just want to pull up this so that we know exactly where.
It does help to have that. So that's me right there, the last house on the street, up one.
Up this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where exactly that is.
Okay, yeah, so this is, you're talking about right here?
No, no.
Oh, this is
If I
Cambridge. Yeah, this is Cambridge Street. This house? So, yeah, it's going to load. It takes a second. The mapper's not the quickest to load.
Looking at where things are, you know, that P1 seems to be to the
I think
northeast of my lot, based on what I was seeing. Maybe it's a little further away than I thought it was, but still. Well,
yes.
no.
Yeah, so yours is right here.
Yeah, I'm southeast of, yes, but southwest.
Yep,
but yeah.
it's over down here where the graphic scale is. That's where your house is.
So I am still concerned about that. The other question I have is, so this is the plan for dealing with the water, the runoff, et cetera, once the project is completed. My concern, one of my concerns, is let's say we have a storm like the one we had a couple of weeks ago on June 6th, you know, mid-construction. Well, this is all, you know, gravel pit and pavement and not, you know, impervious surfaces, and you haven't yet done this. I realize you have no control over that. But I hope, what is the plan to remediate or address those issues?
If we go to the erosion control plan. On the erosion control plan.
So there's this line. It's like a dotted line. You see that goes along this. That's
straw wattle.
Yeah, that's the straw wattle with silt fence. And that's part of the requirement of the SWIP and NIFTY's permit.
Right. Okay. That's one thing. The other thing is that the intentions here are to start at the top of the hill, moving northeast.
Okay.
That way, pushing dirt that way, not affecting the downside of it, and slowly cutting away from the downside without causing erosion to the downside.
Okay.
That's explained clearly in the erosion control notes on
Okay.
how that's to be done.
Okay, fair enough. We just, as a comment, we get a lot of water coming down that hill when it rains now. And that's with all the trees and brush and everything that's there to absorb it. And I'm just concerned that I'm gonna have a lot more water coming down if we have a badly timed storm.
Reasonable concern.
Through the chair, one thing we mentioned at one of the previous meetings, and is that we have not done yet, is we'll be going through every plan page by page. So when we get to that page, as a board, we'll be talking about the erosion control and runoff prevention, phasing, sequence of construction, limit of work, stuff like that. So we just haven't had that exercise yet. We certainly will.
Mr. Hughes?
Danny, can we go back to the one that showed the plan and the existing conditions on water?
Yep.
Comments relative to that.
You want the existing conditions?
It also, but there was a little bit of an outline of the existing conditions and enough of the storm water yeah, that would take care of it. Could we reduce it so we could see the whole thing a little bit? That should do it right there. Okay, so I'm glad that this document, what we all who live in the area knew that there's high groundwater focused in onto this area, quite a bit in two other little areas off to the side. And I do wonder with this documentation how the first submission had a Cultec system that was buried in the groundwater, but that's a separate discussion because we've come up with a different plan now. So what it is that we have these existing conditions. We have all this impervious surface here of roads, driveways, perimeter drains, roofs, etc., that are going to gather up all this water that currently flowed over a larger area, put it into the upper infiltration basin. Keyword here is infiltration basin because it will infiltrate the water down into the slope, not over the larger area that used to, in a focused way, pointed right at the Govangs, the residents down there, and on top of which, in order to get the pipe through this rather challenging site, we're going to blast a very deep trench for sewer, water, and all of that, which will also gather incidental water, and focus all of this where the lower infiltration basin is going to be supercharging it. And as someone who lost 6 trees in that little rain event on the 6th and was awake for it, we just seem to be having 100-year events pretty regularly. So my question is, why do we think this is going to work? Because my experience tells me it's not. And when it fails, and people like the Govangs or others receive damage, who can they sue?
Well, let me answer the first question.
That's bad.
Why should we think that this is going to work? Well, the reason we are given handbooks on stormwater and how to do
I
this.
built subdivisions, so I'm
Oh,
very
fine.
familiar.
That's fine. But we are given means to do the calculations. We are also given means to test the soils as to what the soils are likely going to absorb. And all this is done through highly detailed calculations. I mean, here the calculations are. And this is done in all projects similar to this. And engineers all over America use this kind of material. We are we work with Massachusetts handbook, stormwater handbook, and there are scientists who I think are perfectly qualified to provide the information, and that's how we go. And I don't see why we should think something bad is going to happen when we are doing it by science.
But you haven't answered my question, because I'm talking about a very specific site here, not general things which to give guidance on how to go about complaining this. I'm identifying a site that already has troubling high water, and you're going to build something that's now going to focus it to an area that already has documented high water. I mean, fortunately, a few weeks ago, the intermittent stream that was probably there going back to before 1655, when Groton Harvard Road was first laid out, and still exists on the other side, to demonstrate that there's high water there. There's even high water across the street, and with properties that have elevations similar to mine down the street that are higher than that, even though we're all impacted by Flanagan's Pond with that sandy soil down there. And that's what I can't wrap my head around, is that my experience, which is rather extensive, is that...
I think we've heard that before.
Yes, well, I seem to keep repeating it because I keep being ignored.
You have not been ignored.
I don't know who's ignored you here.
Ageist, rude, and constantly talking down to us when we are just following the law and doing our jobs. We are giving you the time to speak, but you could speak with some kindness, sir.
Well, I don't feel a lot of kindness
We
to
know, but
this
you
kindness
keep
toward this
saying
bylaw.
continue to be
We really haven't even gotten into the, because it's not relevant to do, that you would ever...
Okay, that's it.
I think we've
We've heard enough.
Let's keep this to what I came up here to talk about,
Which is what?
Which is that they have created a drainage system that, in my experience, will fail, and my question is, when it fails, who can the residents sue?
You.
Why would they sue me?
All I'm going to say to that is there are laws, regulations that they have to follow. That's why we hired a peer review to peer review that. And if you don't feel that that is adequate, your right is at the end of the project. If it gets approved, you can appeal it, but, pay for your own engineer to prove that it's incorrect. And that's the process. But the process for the planning board is to follow regulations and the laws. And based on our peer review, they are following it. There's revisions that need to be made, and that is how the planning board functions. We are not a board that is here to deny projects just because someone feels that the engineering and the peer review is not correct.
Gee, I thought you were here to protect the town.
We said...
Excuse my rudeness, but after 27 years of dealing with the destruction of open space in this town,
I don't think this is open space to be. Isn't this privately owned land right now?
I want to make a comment. I see you. I want to make a comment first. So the first question that Mr. Hughes asked was, why should we believe? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because one, I have an engineer whose license is on the line, whose stamp will be on it. And the state regards it as authoritative by law. Secondly, it's reviewed by another engineer with a stamp whose license is on the line. Those two reasons are why I have confidence in this process. Yes, sir.
Ryan O'Neill, 47 Highland. So I wanted to make a comment on that exact point. The Jim, no last name, engineer, did a very poor presentation. Very poor presentation. So to that exact point, you should have probably waited for my comment. He should not be paid. I don't see how scrolling through Excel spreadsheets that we can't see is helpful. So have a presentation ready. Mr. Diskin is very well prepared. The chair is very well prepared. But this isn't a clarity-making process, unfortunately. And I think that's why you get the frustration from people like Mr. Hughes. And my understanding is he also has this experience, and it basically is being ignored from what I could tell. So, thank you.
I just want to make a comment. I don't agree with your assessment of Mr. Thorne's work. His job is not to be a communicator or presenter. His job primarily is to be an engineer. So 98% of his work was done before he even arrived. It's incorporated in the document itself. And I think that he went through all the relevant questions and addressed all the concerns as we asked him to do.
Okay, so this is my first, I'm a resident of the town, first time attending one of these meetings, and I'm a little surprised how in the weeds about the engineering we have to get into. I think the whole point of this being public is that we could debate higher level and like values related things. So I think the main point is at least one thing was identified that this engineer has to modify, and that reduces my confidence in the overall project quite a lot. So Jim has done his job to that extent, but we should move past this and get out of the details.
Well, so
We're hearing two different directions here.
Yeah. So I know this is your first meeting, but at many of these meetings, we've all heard concerns about the details of the stormwater. This is why we're specifically going through the stormwater so that everyone in the
talk about blasting.
We haven't got there
we
yet.
haven't gotten there, so we
Haven't got there yet.
So I understand your concerns because this is your first time here. So we've been breaking up each of these meetings into separate subjects so that we're not here until 12 o'clock each night, because we could be. So each meeting has a specific topic we've been doing. And everyone who's been here at these meetings understands that I lay them out in the agenda and then at the next meeting so that we know exactly what needs to be spoken about. So that we're not here, because these are also people who live in this town and are volunteering their time. Yes, I work for the town, but they're volunteering. So we also need to accommodate their time as well. So we want to make sure that each meeting is being productive on what specific topics are on for that night. And specifically with stormwater, this has been the most important topic that everyone here has been asking about, which is why we're going very detailed about stormwater to make sure that we can address all of their concerns. And we want to, that's why we're also opening it up to the neighbors to come up, ask questions when they do have concerns as well to get them addressed.
Faith come up?
You know what? There were other people ahead. There was Lori and the gentleman in the black sweatshirt. Lori first, and then gentleman in the black and whites in the glasses, and then over to...
Thank you. I'm going to try hard to not repeat anything other people have already said. I have a few specific questions, but I'm going to make a couple of general comments first. And I want to say that a lot of the understanding we have about the soils and the things you've designed are based oftentimes on both the number of samples that have been taken, the location of those samples, and also depending on the information that we put into these AutoCAD programs. And so if there's been some misassumptions or the samples have not been taken in the ideal spot, which is very hard to know, obviously you can't take 1 million samples, we do the best we can to interpret those results, and we have to depend on that. And I have seen mistakes made over the years that I've been involved, that our understanding of AutoCAD evolves and improves. And I've seen, when I've done my work at Fort Evans, pretty substantial changes in groundwater flow modeling and things like that, which means we want to be as cautious as we can be and be conservative in the various important decisions we're making here. And I think that's maybe room for some gray in trying to interpret the results here. A couple of specific questions I had for you was, it looked like the last version of this stormwater modeling did include your purchase of the Neshoba,
VOA?
yeah, the VOA's property, and included the stormwater. Is that correct? So that's included in the last version?
Just for clarification, Ian, that was done originally, I believe. The
We're all-
runoff from VOA's property was included in that original catch pit, wasn't it not?
This, what you're looking at here, it is included. When I first did it, I was under the assumption that those drains that existed there tied into street drains elsewhere. I didn't know that it overflowed onto the land that they originally owned, but that is where it is.
Oh, we did some more discovery and saw
Yeah,
pipes that are there.
found out it was.
Because I think there's some problems with what VOA has been doing with water management.
They
And
have a complete, their system is treated prior to.
Right, it was designed by an engineer, slightly older regulations than what is currently there, but the water is pre-treated before it is discharged onto the soils that we are now dealing with.
Okay, I appreciate that it's discharged and it also causes changes in the way water is caught and moved. And saying that because I live on the other side of the nursing home and I observe constantly large amounts of water rushing down Highland Avenue is where I live, and it really looks like a river. That January 6th storm that people are talking about, it looks like a river washing down.
Highland Avenue?
That's just what's on the opposite side.
Where's Highland Avenue on this plan?
Highland Avenue is,
Is it up this way? So
Highland
it's
Avenue is
further-
opposite High Street.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
live in the first house.
So how does that tie into the VOA?
Because I'm talking about the amount of water that's generated on the VOA side. Half of it flows to the front where I live.
Okay.
The other half flows to the back.
Okay.
Impacting the property.
Okay.
So those are my observations. Also to mention that when we depend on people's licenses at risk, I know of people who have made wrong decisions and inappropriate decisions. So yes, we want to depend on professionals to make these decisions. Everybody is short-staffed. DEP refused to, did not decline to review the last applicant. I think they should have. People are short-staffed and maybe take shortcuts. And so again, we just need to do as best as we can to review these things. And you're giving me that look, but it's
I'm giving you
true
that look because we're following all the detailed and extensive laws for what the review is, and then then the constant feedback is, well, how do we know that review's not good is good enough? How do we know that that's good? I mean, at some point, there has to be a line about what the criteria are for the decisions that we're expected to make, and the criteria are what's defined by the law. They can't be made up on the spot. Project by project.
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, I heard just now Jim say things like, yes, I think that will work, or yeah, that sounds okay to me.
Yeah.
So there's room for mistakes.
So the peer reviewer may not be as eloquent speaking wise, but he's sorry about that, Jim. I mean, not everyone is the best presenter, but
You're fine.
The detail.
he's very detailed. When you review his information is very, very detailed. And it's not only Jim who's reviewing this information. They have a huge, huge team over at Green International. This is not a small firm. This is a very, very, very large firm.
Can I make one comment? When he says it thinks it's going to work, he's referring to the fact that changes are going to have to be made, and then he's going to review it, and he's then going to decide whether that's going to work or not.
Because you had a meeting with them.
Right.
And you guys
The changes
discussed
haven't
what
been made yet. This is discussing changes that need to be made. And yes, okay, he thinks, yes, that will work. But once the changes are made, he can have a clear view as to exactly what he's dealing with.
Yeah, there's going to be a follow-up response after this. Once the plans get submitted, they will review them again, and if they've addressed the concern that was raised in the comments, then they will respond to that and say that it's been addressed.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I also wanted to ask, you've described that the water from the roofs is going to be caught and go into the treatment system. If individual homes want to use that water to water gardens or their lawn, will there be a way that they can do that?
I'm on Rain Barrel. I'm doing Rain Barrel research.
So the downspouts can either have, they can have a T at say 3.5 feet where it can have an elbow that goes in.
Okay.
And then when the rain barrel fills up, then it goes, back, and then it fills it up and stops.
Okay.
There's where it doesn't just always flow into the ground once the rain barrel's filled up. There's
Mechanisms, but
mechanisms
we're
for that.
researching it. So yes, we would hope that would be part of the sustainable practices that we can.
Thank you. Okay. And then my final question, just so you know that I did read your report pretty carefully. I don't have the skills to understand all of it, but I did notice a couple of things that I wanted to just understand better. I was looking at the soil maps and the descriptions of, I'm going to give you one specific example. You label it as 103C, which is the property, the section that's right along Groton Harvard Road.
On Groton Harvard, yeah.
Yes. And you described it as being 2.5 acres, 8 to 15% slope. And we already know that there's been flooding there because of current problems that you're planning to address. And yet it's described in other places as being well drained, and that the depth to the water table is 80 inches, and that there's no ponding or flooding that happens, and that the bedrock is 16 to 26 inches down. So
Okay, let's clarify that.
that's what?
Let me clarify that. In the soils handbook, it gives the general idea of overall for these types of soils in many areas. That's what you're referring to, 80 inches to groundwater. That's what generally on 103C soils is about 5 feet to groundwater, or whatever that is, 6 feet to groundwater. In this case, however, we did tests out there, and we're 2 feet to groundwater. So we are designing it 2 feet to groundwater.
Does it say that somewhere?
Yeah. That's why.
What you're reading is the classification of the soil.
So, but I'm reading the classification of the soil, but if it says depth to groundwater, that's not
That's the
quality.
general. No, that's a general classification.
General
of
conditions,
103C
yeah.
soils.
What's
So 103C soils occur all over. So it's a generalization of it. That's why you do test bits to determine exactly what it is.
I can make one other clarification here. Overall, on the whole site, we use soil classifications as you've just mentioned. However, when we're doing specific designs like the infiltration basin and the Caltech chambers, soil tests are done right there, and the conditions of those soils are what we base the calculations on, not the general classification of the soils.
So do you ignore those general classifications when you've done all your designing? Then you don't pay any attention to those generalizations.
The generalization is to determine the runoff that you're going to get overall. However, where we're putting water back into the soils, that is where we.
Franz, I can't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
When we're calculating how we're treating those soils, we are doing actual soil tests on site. How we treat it when we treat the runoff, the water that we collect.
Okay.
But to determine the runoff, we're using general information overall of that soil.
So that just gets me back, I guess, to what was fed into the AutoCAD program. And
It's not AutoCAD, it's
sorry,
HydroCAD.
HydroCAD program, and how were those assumptions made? I'm going to stop at this point because we're belaboring the product, but it still makes me question some of the decisions that have been made. And it's probably not appropriate tonight because we're already running late, but I really would like for DPW to be able to have a chance to say that they agree with all the things that were pointed out by the consultant, if there were time.
So Matt was at the meeting with the applicant and with the peer reviewer, and he was present with that meeting. I mean, if Matt wants to come up and speak about it, he's welcome to.
Sure.
Is it?
Want me to come up to the table?
Just let him.
I'll keep it real brief.
Thanks, Matt.
So just so everyone in the audience, Matt Herndon, town engineer. Just so the audience is aware, this process is the general process that's followed in every single project. It's very confusing. It's even confusing for me that looks at this stuff all the time. I know the peer review went way into the weeds. That's unfortunately for the audience, it's just a professional engineer talking to a professional engineer. It gets into the weeds. I guess what that can tell the audience is that the big picture concepts are agreed on, which is the water is going to the right places. The general practices are being followed for the project. I still personally have a lot of questions with this, and it sounds like they're being addressed. So we're going to patiently wait for the next revision to actually make sure that they're being addressed. Does that work?
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
And is it improving the groundwater problems that are currently there?
That is a Right.
Can you
Yep.
repeat the question just into the microphone? I'm sorry.
Sorry. The question was, is this project improving the groundwater issues? Did I get that right?
Yes, that are at Groton Harvard Road.
I would say that's unlikely.
I don't even know what that means.
Groundwater, good.
The stormwater.
Oh, you said groundwater?
Stormwater.
Okay, now we know.
Okay.
Groundwater is the existing condition I commented on, and that's what she's referring to.
You're not gonna lower the groundwater.
Well, they're tied together, so.
Yes. Usually these reports don't get into that level of detail in terms of like groundwater raising or lowering as a result of the project. That's not necessarily a requirement. It's hard to tell. It's probably going to be a negligible difference, in my opinion. But anytime you have a project where you're doing this much earthwork, there's always potential for slight changes. That's just unfortunately the result of construction. It's something that's very difficult to measure at this stage. And it's not even a requirement at this stage.
Thank you, Matt. Do we have anyone on Zoom? Is there a head? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Come on up.
You go, dude, you're up there.
Hi, I'm Jacob Solon. I live at 75 Sandy Pond.
I'm sorry, you have to say it into the microphone.
I'm Jacob Solon. I live at 75 Sandy Pond. I just want to express, and I obviously don't want to repeat things, but I think that the people I've talked to really feel that this is a sacrifice, that we're giving up this much, kind of nice naturey land. Obviously, we want to have new housing, so it's a balance between, those two things, those two priorities. And I think we really feel that this is at the end of the spectrum that is really trying to cut corners. And we would really like it if it was the other end of the spectrum, where it shows that it's really, really intentionally addressing it. I mean, exaggerated is really what I think was missing here. It's looks like we're trying to measure to like the smallest detail of what we can get away with, and not looking at what can we do to really do the best stormwater management system, and then build a housing development on top of that as like the second priority here. I think, does that make sense?
No.
So I understand where you're coming from, but remember, this is private property. The applicant is allowed to follow anything that falls within those
Absolutely.
guidelines, and that's what they're doing here.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to say I think that's what we're expressing. That's what you're feeling tonight is that issue. So thank you.
The dudette is approaching the table.
I brought that on myself.
You did. I had to, Faith. I had to.
Faith Salter, 10 Winthrop. So I'm going to try not, sorry, I'm just carrying this around. My daughter made me a 3D print of my favorite piece of air, which is shows the topography of the project area, which I thought was kind of fun. Anyway, it's not, legally admissible. So I have a couple questions. One has to do with a follow-up on Adam's question with respect to his property, because during that storm on January 6th, he took a video of water coming out of, he's got rock like this and coming out of the rock. And so that's not really like a surface water, like storm water is of course a surface water question, but I'm friends with Adam, and I was like thinking about his property and wondering to what extent planning on with stormwater thinks about how disrupting the geology through blasting and things like that could maybe improve, but also could make it worse for that water that flows out of the rock, because it isn't surface water, but it is a big impact for that neighborhood. So it's just, is that in any way something that can be thought about with when we have this much ledge and rock in the site? I did see his letter. Can I talk?
Sure.
With his video, and it really is, it's very far away. Like, I don't think within our watershed systems we even get there, with these P1 and. His property is right.
It's off this way.
Yeah, but see, we're coming, the hill goes down that way.
But it's the same rock.
So the answer, it sounds like the answer is no. The answer is no, that there isn't an ability or. Yeah, I mean, he's not even. Okay, I just understand. Yeah. I think it's a valid concern of his, so I just wanted to ask that. No, I do. Second was, earlier, I actually for me, this was very detailed. So, and that's to whoever's on the phone because you can't see us, but I thought this was very detailed. But one of the conversations we had tonight had to do with the emergency spillway, emergency overflow. And is that for that upper catchment basement? And if I understand it, because I have to kind of figure this out, that's for when that thing gets so full so fast that it flows over the top. Is that right? And our friend on the phone said, is it Jim? Yes. Jim said, hello Jim, said that there should be a calculation for the flow over the spillway. And the response was no, because there's no flow. And is that correct?
No. All he was talking about was a technicality as to what the name we called it, because it doesn't flow in precisely the same direction as what is piped as to what is overflowed. That's all he was really referring to. Because if it ever overflowed, it would follow the swale that all the other runoff normally flows down to Groton Harvard Road.
Right.
As opposed to going through the pipe. So it's a slightly different route. So it's a different, it should be a different name.
Flows down over the ground.
Over the ground.
Right, into Juliet's home. And so I think I wanted to ask that question in part because I'm interested in climate change. I'm interested in stormwater. I don't know if I'm this interested in stormwater, but I was reading about the Resilient Mass Plan and their recommendations for infrastructure building, where the infrastructure is supposed to last 50 years or more. And I know this is not our bylaw, and I appreciate how hard you try to keep us in the guardrails. Just want you to know that. And Danny,
I'm going to ask you to stay within.
I am staying within the guardrails. So, yeah, I know, I got you. And they recommended 200-year storms. So that's one of the reasons folks are scared, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. And that's what I was going to ask you. Doesn't it make sense to know what that spillway can handle? But it sounds like my understanding of what that spillway is isn't what you're saying it is. I thought it was overflow, like that basin gets full, vroom, the water flows over the edge. And you're saying we don't need to know what that spillway is going to do because it's not going to happen, was what I heard you say.
Those are two different comments.
Okay.
One
All right,
was,
they sounded the same to me.
Yeah, one was what Ian was talking about. The other one was what Julianne was talking about, which is this spillway.
Mm-hmm.
There's different, there are two different comments.
Yeah, okay. So I guess I would say, I think Green's recommendation was that there be some kind of flow analysis on that. Given that, what did they say? They said that precipitation has increased 55% since 1958. And so we know it's going up, and I acknowledge that we're in a 100-year storm criteria here. I just think being conscious of emergency overflow is important. And my last question, I think, is this looks like a very complex infrastructure. And I'm sorry if this isn't specific to this, but who's taking care of this? Because it looks like things have to be cleaned out and mowed. Who takes care of this infrastructure after the bulldozers leave?
So what ends up happening is, as part of our decision, the applicant will have to, as one of the conditions is the applicant will have to submit their condominium documents to us for me to review, to make sure that the conditions that I set in here for like the stormwater of yearly inspections, all the reports being submitted to myself are also included in that. And so what'll happen is once that document is recorded, the condominium association would handle that. That would then be submitted to me yearly for inspections. So we typically do that on all projects now.
Okay. And okay, I'm sorry if it's out of scope, but so then there's like that kind of document with, there'd be accountability there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I need to just clarify one thing, and we probably should have done it sooner. We in this room cannot see, Jim, we keep picking on you, but that's because you're here, Jim, or anyone else that's on Zoom. However, my understanding is they can all see us quite clearly.
Oh, my goodness.
So we are having technical difficulties in this room, but Zoom is functioning the way we all know with the boxes, and they're all there with their boxes, and they can see each other, and APAC is filming us, so everyone will be able to watch this meeting. If you want to see Jim, if you turned your screen on, we could all go watch Jim on that screen on YouTube if we're bored later and want to see him. But as we go to as we go to this, I thought I heard you say we were going to check on the Zoom people if they had comments. I just wanted, they didn't understand maybe that we can't see them, so I thought that was worth clarifying.
Yes?
Hello, Rachel Kozera, 30 Groton Harvard. I was just looking at the different comments, and on number 14, it talks about discharge points, and it says it's not necessary as areas substantially reduced. I was just wondering if that might be important with just water remediation while the construction is in progress. I know they'll have wattle fences and preventative measures, but it just seems like it might be a good assessment of the land just for the protection of the current residents. I'm not sure if there was a conclusion drawn with regard to that particular
You're
comment.
talking about 14A,
Uh,
the discharge points. That's, I think they're specifically just talking about the hydrogen,
Oh, okay.
right? Because that's what the comment is specifically about.
14A, yeah.
Yeah, that's about
Okay.
the hydrocad, right?
Oh, okay. My apologies. Let's see. And I was just wondering for 25 and 25A, I was trying to comprehend what Jim was saying in the moment, but it seems like those were, they moved forward with those. But I was just wondering, could you provide the details of why those two were closed? I just didn't have the clarification in that moment.
Jim,
Yeah, I can speak to that.
That's 25 and 25A? Okay.
Yep, 25, 25A. So that has to do with the watershed plan that was shown. So they showed P1 and P2, and all the areas that go to essentially discharge point 3. So my comment was that the actual discharge point isn't shown on this plan. It's just shown as a catchment area. So P1 has an area, but it doesn't actually show where that actually discharges to exactly. So that was the comment. But after discussing with Ian on where those different subcatchments discharge to, I had a better understanding of how his system was working. So that's why we closed it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. And then with regard to, gosh, it's super tiny, comment 49, you just mentioned it's probably fine, and it just seemed like I just needed further clarification just because that seemed like I just would like further clarification, please.
So this also kind of ties into the fact that Ian has to update his design. He has to update his infiltration basin design. He has to update his subsurface chamber design. And so that's why I said it's probably okay, because once he does update the design, I'm going to review it to make sure that the velocities are okay based off the updated HydroCAD model. And if they're not, then I'm going to push back on this comment for him to flatten the slope.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So, Danny, do we got time to go through the peer review comments on, what is this,
on traffic.
on traffic?
So on the traffic one, there was really only like two or three additional comments.
Just 3. Yeah.
So on this one, so on these were just some changes that they needed to make on the plans, and the applicant did agree to these changes on the plan.
Okay.
They also submitted an updated trip gen, which showed a reduction in vehicle trips per day because of the reduction in units. So, I mean, at this point, I think all of the comments have been addressed, except for once the plan gets updated, then Green can confirm those last 2 comments. But it's just, there's only 2 comments that need to be updated on the plan.
Oh, I see. Okay. I think it's worth getting into the record, the difference in the traffic.
Yeah.
You want to just bring that up so people can see that?
So the applicant's engineer, VAI, or Vanessa and Associates, they updated their trip gen for the project based on the new 34 units. And you can see on here that there's a reduction in of 42 vehicle trips per day for the overall project.
Okay.
So they were originally proposed at, or trip gen at 416. Now they're at 374 car
Because
trips
of the
per day.
reduction of the number of units in the overall plan.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Jamie, can we summarize what we did in the stormwater and talk about the next steps?
Yes. So the next steps for this would be the applicant's going to update their plans, and the stormwater report. They'll resubmit that to us, and then the peer reviewer can do their review at that point. The peer reviewer will then provide us with another comment letter saying whether or not that comment's been closed out or if there's a new comment that pops up. So we'll go through that. Depending on timing, that won't be the first meeting in August. I think at this point, the first meeting in August, what we've discussed was going through the plan set.
Okay.
For that, so that we can discuss that. At the it worked. We can see you now.
Sorry, Jim.
The screen just started working for some reason.
Okay.
I must have said the magic word. So at the August 12th meeting, the applicant will then go through the plan set with the board, because I know the board has some comments for each of the pages. That way we can kind of go through that, and that will also get them whatever comments they will address for the final, for their revision that will get submitted to the peer reviewer as well. If there is going to be, I don't think there would be anything that would come out of that would affect the stormwater, but who knows? So I think at the August 12th meeting, the best course of action would be have the applicant go through the plan set. That should be one meeting, because it's quite an extensive plan set, and I'm sure the board will have
Needs to be
comments.
done. Yeah.
And then at the next meeting in August, hopefully at that point, we will have the peer review finalized, or their next letter, and then we can start getting into the other topics, which is like the landscape plan. The applicant did update their project narrative and the development impact statement, so we can go through that and make sure that those are also shown correctly. And then we'll be starting to close up, the loose ends to open space calculation. The applicant will be re-notifying for the August 12th. Yep, for August 12th, they're going to be re-notifying all of the abutters because of the addition of the parcel that's been acquired from the VOA. So that's going to be re-notified to all neighbors, including the 300 feet from that new parcel, so that all neighbors, even if there's some that did not receive them for this first application, they'll receive them now, just so that everyone now knows. And then I think we're starting to get the bigger things, and the TV died again. We're starting to get a lot of these bigger things off the table, and we'll just get to the the minor things that we can start addressing.
I think we need a continuance. Motion for continuance. Want to do it, Nathan? You look charged, tanned, ready, and rested. Go for it.
Check. I move that we continue the
Public hearing.
special permit public hearing for special permit at Lincoln Hills, as well as a site plan review, to our next planning board meeting in August 12th.
Second. Any further discussion? Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. We'll continue it till August 12th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you mind?
So that everyone knows, on the next agenda when I post it, it'll have the topic that we'll be discussing. But we did kind of go over what we would be discussing here now.
All right.
All right.
We'll try to blow.
Yeah,
through
we'll go through these pretty quickly. But we do need to get through
the reappointments.
These
I know
are
we do.
pretty important right now. So the first thing is on Stratton Hill, they did provide us with a quarterly report. I did send that over to Matt for him to review, to also, let me know if he felt that that has enough information for, for his review. He did determine that it had enough information. I felt comfortable with it as well. I believe
Say where they are, what the status is?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I may have sent it to you, but let me just pull it
I don't think we got his Stratton.
Oh,
is he here? Jim, you still here?
Jim,
Yeah,
thank
he's
you
still
for
there.
being here.
Yes, thank you.
Jim, we can't see you.
Yeah, we can't see you again. We lost you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you're welcome to hop off now, and thank you, and I'll follow up with you on the next steps.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Have a nice night.
Thank you, Jim. Good job, Julie. Good catch. Thank you.
I'm taking it, Ken.
So Stratton Hill, the quarterly report, you said you posted.
I'm gonna pull it right
I
up
mean,
right
just
now.
very briefly, I mean, just like, what are they still clearing?
Are you gonna send it to us?
I thought I sent it to you, but maybe I didn't, but it's right here. So as of right now, they've mobilized site installation of the perimeter erosion controls. They've done the construction stabilization for the entrance.
Wow.
Tree vegetation, they've removed. Initial blasting has already started, which, notifications went out, pre-blast surveys were done. SWIP inspections are ongoing. We've been receiving them, so that's also going on. They did set up some sediment basins to deal with stormwater during construction, temporary. And so what's going to happen is they'll continue doing these. As of right now, they're set for quarterly. If the board wants some more, once we get to like construction, I think maybe the board might be inclined to ask for more frequently, when we get to that point. But we're still kind of a ways off from that.
Thank you.
There's one comment that's kind of interesting.
Oh, about the National Grid? Yeah, so National Grid is going through their site to access their stuff. That was one of their
That's right, they used to do it on their own.
Yes.
Ah.
So now they're going through the construction site to access their site. Yeah. And I know we did get some calls initially from some neighbors that stuff was going on up there. There was some National Grid stuff going on. It was them who was dealing with that, who was doing it. But that's their quarterly report for their initial one.
Thank you.
That National Grid work is associated with stuff that conservation issues.
So you had two separate,
Okay.
two separate projects.
The work under the big transmission lines through.
Yes, which goes all the way from West, Bolton, and
Yeah.
West Boylston, Mass, all the way
Okay, thank you.
across the entire state.
Yep. So that's Stratton Hill, 14 Washington Street. So they will be coming back before us for a modifications to their plans. Once we receive those plans, I'll update the board, and that way you guys know when it's coming. But we've had discussions, as you guys have seen.
Yes.
We got the wing finally torn down and taken care of.
Yes.
We've addressed that. And they seem willing to work with us to get this moving forward now. So when they come back for a modification, the board will have a chance to. I'll give you guys an update when that gets there.
Sounds good.
All right, the next one is the finalization of the reorganization. I did speak with Kathleen about the clerk position. And she said that she would be willing to do this, the clerk position for this year.
Okay.
So I think at this point, now that we have Nathan back, we can make a formal vote on that.
All right, I move to appoint Kathleen to the clerk position.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Yes.
Does Kathleen vote on this or abstain? Kathleen?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Shh, let's.
Oh, boy.
Chair votes aye, obviously. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thanks,
Reappointments.
Yes. Let me pull.
So this is going to be a little. All right.
So actually, it's not going to be too bad on this one because there's much less things that we are.
Obligated to do.
Yes, because there's not
Oh, I want more.
as many boards.
Oh, come on. Let's make new boards up.
Wouldn't that be
So
nice?
I can.
No, I know,
can give
Duty.
Here's the question.
So
When do the times of the board's meeting?
yes. So
I know that.
all right. So
Janet
Okay.
I'll kind of go through, let me just quickly go through it. So right now, the Devon's Resolution Group initially had Julie and Jeff on it.
Okay.
Jeff is no longer on there. So as of right now, Julie is still on there. She's also CPC, and she's there for 3 years.
How often does the Devon's group meet?
When Robert remembers to send the emails, every 4th month lately.
All right, I'll take it. I'll help with this. I'll be the second person.
Okay.
We're gonna make this fast. CPC is already covered, right? Are you willing to do it?
Yes, if
Great.
Janet's still there.
Great. Affordable Housing Working Group, Nathan?
Yes.
Okay. You need someone for the Affordable Housing Trust, right?
When does it meet?
So we do need someone for the trust.
But the affordable
Yeah,
house, I'm on the working
And-
group.
and-
But not on the planning
Don't
board,
know
you're
that.
through Affordable Housing
Ken,
Committee.
Ken also.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Yep,
absolutely
I've
right.
already, we dealt this last year.
Yeah,
So-
you're right, yeah.
So I'm just gonna leave my.
This is
cards
the
here.
biggest one, is the Affordable Housing Trust.
I'm willing to do this if someone else will do MRPC.
When does MRPC meet?
It's
I
a
can't-
Zoom, it's a Zoom.
It's a Zoom meeting once a
It's-
During
month.
9 to 5 work
Yes,
days.
yes it is.
Killing me here.
I understand.
You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls. But I'm willing to take on, this one meets more often.
So-
We're gonna
How
do
often
that.
is MRPC?
Once a month. Once a month.
What day?
It's on a Wednesday, I believe, at like 1 p.m. Like 1 p.m.
I nominate Danny.
It's during the day?
I mean,
Wait, MRPC is not during the day, it's an evening.
It can be either.
It can be it can be either.
Oh,
Wait, I don't.
no.
Wait,
Really?
I don't think I know. It's a planning board member. I can't do it.
In the
No.
past, we've had the planner representing the town to that MRPC.
The
I don't think
requirement, from what I know, I mean, I don't mind sitting on it. I mean,
Yes, you do.
add it to my million other ones, but like, I don't really.
Represent the planning board.
I don't know if he can.
I don't know if we can because the
They
requirement.
need an elected official.
Yeah, the requirement is an elected
Elected
official from the
official.
planning board.
Right. He's not a planning board member, he's a town.
That's the problem.
I
Right.
mean, if it meets at night, sure. But I can't jump on 1 p.m.
Yep.
right
No,
here.
that's
So-
good enough.
I mean, we also have a second for it, which is Mr. Copeland. I think it's Mr. Copeland
Great.
from the select board. So
I mean, I see
there is
this
coverage.
random meeting.
Skip it, just skip it.
20.
Lynn, take my word for it.
Okay.
You don't want to be on that one.
Okay. So
MRPC.
okay. So wait.
But we need
So then-
somebody on
hold
that.
So then maybe would you want to take the Devon's resolution group because that
When
one
does
meets
it
at night.
meet? I'm really.
That meets at night.
No, I'll do
He
that.
said it. He just said he's taking it.
At what time?
You want me to do MRPC?
Sometimes closer to
No,
5,
I-
but
I
that can
want
be
you to do
moved.
Like what day of the
I
week?
am.
Big-
I said yes to
So
that.
then MRPC, we can.
No.
Definitely not doing the MRPC.
No.
Too-
He doesn't.
way too
Oh,
much.
okay. Put me on a MRPC
The MRPC commission meetings
at
around
7
it.
p.m.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, it's 7
around,
p.m. and once a
Okay.
month.
Okay. All right. So Kathleen. All right. And so trust is Jonathan.
Do me a favor?
Where do
Yes.
we meet?
Just let me know where and when they
To
meet.
Zoom.
If you'll send me.
Oh, yeah. So I'll because I have to send a notification to them and they'll send you all the information.
It is a remote
If you could
meeting
just send
on
me
Thursday.
when and where the meetings
At
are.
7
for
p.m.
the
Woo!
I don't want to be caught.
I'll let Janet and Alicia know so they'll
Yeah,
let
just
you know.
Janet, so you just let me know when and where the meetings are so I don't miss them and, you know.
For the trust?
Yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be you?
it's gonna be me.
Okay.
I hope you're not too disappointed.
No, far from it. No.
Only for the beard.
Last Wednesdays of the month. and
My
it's-
wife is gonna make me, Eileen is
I
upset.
don't think so. Is it,
Like
I don't
Is
think
it
the
large? If everyone was that large, I thought there was.
Yeah, I don't think the planning board is a senior center thing. The senior center is not a requested from the
Don't
planning
add
board.
more. We
No,
can
that's something else.
placards.
These are the only requested from the planning board ones we
Required,
have.
yeah.
Required, yeah. I think you chose to jump on that one. I mean, Ken is on a bunch of boards, so I mean, on a bunch of different committees. I mean, so
So, yeah,
I
you
get
and
that.
Julie split most of them, so. we got-
Yeah,
Okay, so
Ju- I
those,
mean-
that group that you've put up there, the ones that are, that's it.
that's all we're for required because there was a couple others, but those have been knocked off because they're done.
That's nice.
All right,
Did it.
good,
Okay,
That's
so
the resolution may go, but that's,
someday.
someday, 2033, right?
yeah, it's-
That's what it says. Okay.
I think Donald Trump will know what to do with Devon's. I trust, I,
Come on.
All right.
Really getting punchy.
All right. We have, okay, so this last one is Pond Street and Isaac Lane project. So this is the housing authority, the Air Housing Authority. They're making a submission to the planning board. The Pond Street project will be coming before you for a site plan and stormwater management permit. The Isaacs Lane is a minor, so it will not, it'll be Matt and I who will be reviewing that for that project. Oh, there's wetlands there? Okay, so we'll have to discuss on that one.
So you need a
But
motion?
it's a minor project. So what they're asking for is a waiver from the application fees.
I'd like to make a motion that we waive the application fees for,
The Air Housing Authority.
Air Housing
project
Authority
on
for,
Pond Street and Isaac Lane.
Second.
as the town planner just said. Seconded. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Yep.
We have, the application fee we're talking about here is for site plan approval. That's the application fee
And for the stormwater.
and stormwater. So there's a fee for each, or it's two? Okay, that's what I'm questioning.
Yeah, so the site plan one is like, I think it was 1,000 something. And the stormwater for each of them was like 300 and like 150 or something like that.
So there's actually 4 fee waivers here, 2 for each project. Stormwater on each project and site plan on each project.
Site plan on only Pond Street.
On Pond Street, 'cause Isaac Lane's minor.
Isaac Lane is a minor, so it's just.
So it's 3.
It's not, yeah, it's only 3.
Do I need to modify my motion or at all, or is it still
Nope.
good?
I think it's good.
Any further comments? Ken?
Yes.
Kathleen? Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Okay, great, so that's waived.
Now, meeting minutes.
I make a before I make the motion.
Amended.
They were amended, you know, the second?
Yep,
And the other,
this-
did you clarify who that person, Mr. Frank?
Yes, yes.
My apologies, I didn't mean to, I forgot to look up how to spell Mr. Frank McFarland's
McPartland.
Oh.
I had it as a
Oh, okay, that's
It
fine.
was Frank McFarland.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as amended for
Oh,
July.
wait, there's a hand up from
What?
Pauline.
It just went up.
It just went up. Well,
Does it have to do with the meeting minutes?
I don't know.
If not, you all go forward and come back to me, okay?
Yeah, so, motion to approve the July 8th, 2025 Air Planning Board meeting minutes as amended.
Second.
Any further discussion? Ken?
Yes.
Kathleen? Nathan?
Abstain.
Oh, you have to abstain, I'm sorry, you weren't here. Julie?
Yes.
And chair votes aye. Then I could sign that. Pauline, what's on your mind?
2 brief points, Mr. Chair. I don't know if you've noticed, but a resident of Groton Harvard Road sent you a chat message during the meeting. And I did not hear that it was addressed, so I just wanted to make you all aware. And the other comment I want to make is, and I did not want to interrupt you during the meeting because it was very, very busy and complicated. People need to speak into the mic. And Danny, I was thrilled with your comment the last meeting because you were on remote and you couldn't hear people and you asked the people to speak up. But please bring people to the table. I think Sam had a couple of comments from the audience. Couldn't understand a word she said, but y'all answered whatever the question or comment she said. It's very important that everybody speak through a microphone is all I want to say for Zoom. And that's all. Otherwise, y'all did a great job. You're
Thank
going
you,
to get
Pauline.
some sleep tonight.
Oh, man.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Pauline.
And the comment
Good
about,
night.
this is from Linda McGillicuddy, so it's about Groton Harvard Road and the trench, which I've responded to her email and I have spoken with her. And I have gone out to the site, but we'll talk about that at the next meeting.
That's when we can get into the detail of we go through the drawing step by
Correct.
step.
Yep. Yeah, we'll address it at that point.
Danny, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Regarding email. So occasionally you email, well, always anytime an abutter resident emails you, you then forward it to us.
Yes.
Sometimes I find myself wondering, what did Danny or Matt say? Is the point of process that I should follow to reach out to you and be like, do you mind forwarding your response?
Yeah, no, if you want to see my response, I can forward them over to you. I
Yeah.
typically do respond to all of their
Because I
emails
always
and then-
get the
The initial
email
question.
that came over, and then I'm like, oh, this is a good question. What did Matt say?
Yes, I can get those over to you.
Okay, I would
There's a
really,
lot of them.
really.
Yeah.
I know there's
Yeah.
a lot.
No, don't worry. I can. I have them
Oh, yeah,
already in
please. I would really love
Yep.
that.
I will do that.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Good night, everyone.